Anthony, it's time.
Is it turbo time?
You've got your third paper cube finished.
I do.
So today we're going to be grid drafting the turbo cube. It's turbo time.
It's turbo
as
time.
the kids love to say. Anthony, tell people what the turbo cube is.
Okay, so this is a perfectly normal cube. There is one special twist, which is that all spells and activated abilities cost 2 less to cast.
That is a big
and
twist.
Activate. It's a pretty small twist.
It's a big twist.
2 is a pretty small number in the scope of numbers.
It's a big twist.
And the rest of the cube has been designed to sort of maximize making that matter as much as possible without actually breaking anything. So we don't have things like Basalt Monolith and Grim Monolith that are just like,
what would you
staff
even do with infinite mana anyway?
I mean, you win the game with a
Walking Ballista?
giant walking ballista, yeah, probably. So we don't have anything that is truly broken, but it's kind of like, hey, what if we just made like even more powerful vintage just by changing the rules? So, we don't have Moxen, but we do have Prophetic Prism, which is the Ultra Moxen that draws you a card and taps for any color.
This is you lightly to moderately trolling everybody that likes powerful magic and, loves powerful magic cards.
No, I would never troll.
I'm going to turn you down a little bit. You're a little hot in the cans.
Wow.
I know. We'll get this new audio interface. I can get your levels up right so people can hear both of us. Hold on. Limem, do you live in Disneyland? That'd be weird if you did.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I guess it'd be cool. Get those trash cans that just suck the trash down into that weird subterranean trash sewer.
I wish we had better
trash lines?
waste management.
I
wish we had better
any waste
infrastructure
management
in this country.
Sure, it would be nice to value infrastructure societally and civically. Let's not go down that rabbit hole, though. All right, so we're doing a typical grid draft, which I think people either know or will understand quickly when they watch it play out, but we're going to take turns choosing from a 9x9, 3x3 grid for 9 cards total.
You got it.
We each get to take a row or a column, and the rest of the cards are discarded, and we're going to do that 18 times, and then we're going to build a deck and see what happens. What do you expect out of a grid draft of this environment?
That's a great question. I largely don't know what to expect. So we have done some virtual playtesting of this cube, but this is the first time we're touching it in paper, the first time we actually have collected all these cards together.
You must touch the cube.
You must touch the cube. So I think I have a little bit of an idea of an expectation of what to expect a normal 8-player draft. I definitely, there's a lot of like everybody's kind of just playing Storm happening, but I have tried to sort of maximize some other opportunities. So there's a little bit of like a mono green ramp deck that can actually take advantage of spending a lot of green mana. There's like extremely efficient control cards and these like 1 mana counter spells and extremely efficient hand hate. So I'm hoping there's some diversity, at least in an 8-player draft, of the kinds of decks that we'll see. In a grid draft, I don't know how much that's going to work out. I have 2 concerns. Obviously, that we're just going to both be drafting 5-color nonsense, which...
Oh, yeah, that's what I plan to do.
Okay, great, perfect. The other concern is, in this cube, you can play very, very few lands, like 6 lands, in a normal 40-card deck.
I played 5 and felt like I played too many.
Right. And so I feel like we might be a little bit short on cards. So I think we might just have like pretty wonky 5-color decks that are playing more lands than they want to. But that's why I'm going to take Trader Outs really highly if we see it.
You know what you can do, though? If we get down 18 packs and you're like, I think we're a little short on cards.
I was wondering about that.
Just keep making packs, baby.
We'll think about it.
Well, I know what I'm hoping. I'm hoping I win this roll to go first because my one thought about the grid draft here is that, I mean, every cube has some power outliers, but specifically here, there's a certain number of cards in this cube that are free cantripping rituals, all of the guild globes, all of the eggs, which I will take over any card. You cannot sway me from them, no matter what pack it is or what else is in the row. And there are also a class of cards, of which Monastery Mentor is one, Psy Maverick Thropterus is one. These cards that are basically the best payoffs for having a deck full of free cantripping rituals.
Right.
And those are the 2 card classes I am most interested in, and everything else to me is a distant third consideration. So seeing Monastery Mentor in this first pack, I'm hoping I win this roll, is what it comes down to.
I'm not totally sure I agree with you. I think I would actually take Monastery Mentor over an egg.
I wouldn't.
I think it is that powerful of a
I
payoff.
would if it was like the last couple packs and I was like, ain't got no win condition.
Okay, that's fair.
But early on, like if this was egg here, I'm not taking Mentor. You can have Mentor. I'm taking egg.
All right.
But that is instead calculated dismissal. I thought it was callous dismissal. What does calculated dismissal even do?
So that's the other fun thing is we're going to see some like classic powerful staple magic cards like Monastery Mentor. We're also going to see like all these horrible.
I genuinely thought it was callous
dismissal.
dismissal. It's got kind of similar art. It's got dismissal in the name, but it's calculated dismissal. Pretty good 1 mana counterspell when you can pay it for 1 mana.
Quite good.
All right, well let's roll.
I roll?
The moment of truth. Yeah.
16.
It's off screen, but that is a 16. No. Yeah. This is a nice metal dice.
It's a nice metal dice.
Right.
It's not rolling on the cards.
Ugh.
3. Oh my god.
Darn it.
Well, good game.
Yeah, GG's.
This is also I think a cube where dice rolls really matter. even more than Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. So there's no question I'm taking Mentor. The question then is, do I want Jawbone Skulkin, which effectively just gives all your red creatures haste. You can activate this as many times as you want. So I think there's also like a really strong potential for an aggro deck here where like you can actually theoretically just attack for double lethal on turn 1. But I think that Deconstruct and, I mean, really, we just want this Hangerback Walker.
Yeah. And I like what you're doing. I think we should make an effort to say the name of each card that we're taking, just because it's easier for people to follow along when they hear the cards, especially when they're weird cards like Calculated Dismissal.
Sure. Or Mechagodzilla.
I don't like any of these cards.
Wow.
I am prioritizing colorless cards over all else. Basically, it's really hard for me to not take cards I can cast for free. So I like Skulkin. The fact that it limits the haste to only red creatures is a little bit of a bummer. If there aren't any red creatures in this cube that I'm excited to play, but it's a free card. It's free. It's a free 1 mana. It's 0 mana 1/1 with upside that I can play in any deck. So I'm taking the colorless card. And now I'm up first. And I know what I'm taking. Ooh. All right, well, you are not going to sway me from taking the Timeless Dragon Alchemist Vial row, I don't think. But Urza Saga, I think, is potentially extremely good here because many, many artifacts are going to be in play, and you're going to get to do some rude stuff with it. But Plane Cycling for free is a free fetch land, essentially, and Alchemist Vial is a free cantrip. So off we go.
There are going to be a lot of free cantrips. So I like, there's not a lot of 1 mana spells. Knight of the Ebon Legion is kind of a weird one because its ability just costs 2 less, so you can just slam a whole bunch of black mana in there and generate a ton of value out of that.
How are you going to get a whole bunch of black mana, though? Because this game is going to be over by like turn 3.
That's a great question. So I think that that's a kind of card that I'm not sure it's going to pan out as well as I would like it to because, yeah, I mean, especially in a grid draft, we're going to be trying to play probably a lot more colors. Urza Saga is quite busted. I do already have a green card, and I can actually make use of some other green ramp cards with something like Hangerback Walker, so I don't hate taking this row. Passing the Watery Grave seems wrong. Same with Urza Saga, but let's just be quick about this and see how this goes.
See, I would have taken Key Saga there, no question.
I think that would probably be the right choice, but
because Saga is very often going to just tutor up a cantrip.
True, yeah.
So now Anthony is a bit of a psychopath, man. He does not build grid draft packs ahead of time.
I don't know how we think so differently about this. Like the idea of I'm gonna like pre-set up a bunch of packs just like when I have to deal them out anyway, just seems like a huge waste of time.
Ooh, a lot of good candidates
All right,
here.
We got a spicy pack, and it is my choice, right?
It is your choice.
Okay, so Imperial Recruiter, 1 mana, tutor up, Monastery Mentor. That's pretty spicy.
Yeah.
We've also got a fetch land. The fetch lands are actually not as powerful in here because we do
that's
have things that are like have a lot of basic land cycling, like we already saw the.
Can you turn that phone more this way, just a tiny bit?
How's that?
Frame my beautiful mug a little more.
A little more.
Great, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so because there is so much like land cycling where you get to basically just use those as free fetch lands that also potentially, Timeless Dragon gets to the graveyard. If the game happens to go for a turn or two, you might actually be able to cast it. But it's still reasonable. Reclamation Sage, I think, is important. We got lots of powerful artifacts going around. I'm not sure about Shatterfang. Like, I really strongly consider just any card that costs like 2 and a colored pip. But it can potentially just make a lot of squirrels. Hollow One obviously is another cheap threat, and we got some more lands. I think I really need to take this Imperial Recruiter. Maybe I do, and cycling lands are obviously very valuable because you just cycle them. Basically, your deck size here is a lot smaller than it looks. Maybe we'll try this Shatterfang.
It'd be hard for me not to take Imperial Recruiter if I were you, but I probably wouldn't. I would probably have taken land.
Just the lands. I could see
that.
I'm
thinking now. I really wish I could get all 3 of these cards.
You can't. This is not Tetris draft.
I don't take this Bloodstained Mire very highly, but the Bloodstained Mire, Hollow One, Sheltered Thicket row is what I'm going to take for the Sheltered Thicket and the Hollow One. And Scrabbling Claws, I'm very sorry. But
the claws.
So far, I have 2 cards I have to pay mana for in my pool. This is going to be the monologue cube, apparently. And we have the first piece of power, and I get to take it.
Wow.
Oh, 2 pieces of power.
2 pieces of power.
All right, so this is a no contest. Prophetic Prism, Saheeli Sublime Artificer, and Chromatic Sphere. Saheeli doesn't matter. She's fine. Actually, Saheeli's,
Saheeli's pretty solid.
she's one of the lesser, but of that class of cards that is
Sure.
one of the most premier win conditions. The lesser of the premier win
The fact that she
conditions.
does cost 2 mana makes
Right.
it a little rough.
That is the big consideration there. But Prophetic Prism, Saheeli, Chromatic Sphere are very powerful. I'm taking all these for sure. No question.
All right, well, I'm going to... Clear the Mind is kind of interesting, but I'm going to take some more green cards.
Who's blowing up? Is that you or me? It's me. I should turn off notifications on my phone when I do this. But I don't want to move it now. It's recording your beautiful face.
We have more free spells.
No!
We have power.
Crap.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be great.
Oh, no.
Ooh, okay, you're going to get something good here. Okay, so the eggs are clearly, in this, they're cantripping rituals.
I give you that foil
They're very silly. Thank you for that foil.
Yeah,
I'm very
I love
much
those
in
old foil eggs.
debt to you for a lot of cards you've given to me for this cube.
That's fine.
Cave of Temptation is also worth pointing out just as a land that makes any color of mana. Cool. Plus, also it has more text if you need to do more stuff later. Diamond Lion, I'm not so sure about. It's just a free spell. I can definitely see it making it in my deck, especially if I'm strapped for playables, which might happen. And Bag of Holding, this is the cube for Bag of Holding.
It's that row, no question. I don't see how you could not take that row. I'm not hyped on any of these cards. I think a free Stronic Resonator is potentially interesting. And again, this is my own personal approach to this cube. I'll take any card I can play for free over pretty much any card I have to pay for. And so this being the only card remaining in the pack that I don't have to pay for, I'm into it.
Who wants to pay for cards?
Not me. So again, just for those following along at home, I have, my pool here, which you can't see, it's off camera. I have it divided into 2 piles. The piles are cards I need to pay mana for and cards I don't. 4 cards I need to play mana for, most of which were incidental picks I don't even plan on playing, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards I don't need to pay any mana for so far.
Wow. I think we do need to point out Deadly Designs, though, which neither of us took. This is a very silly card where any player can pay 2 to put a counter on it. You get a bunch of counters, you can kill 2 cards. You can just keep doing that, so it's just a 1 mana destroy 2 creatures, so
yep.
I don't hate that not making it into your pool.
Yeah, but importantly, when you're destroying 2 creatures that your opponent paid no mana for,
you're not wrong.
Who cares? All right. So this pack, there's a couple things jumping out at me. Again, all the free cards, Valley Ranet, Migration Path, Vial of Dragonfire, and Archfiend of Ifnir all have either cycling or cost no mana. Those cards all jump out at me. Vault Scourge, also free, which is cool. So those are the cards I'm most excited about. It's hard to imagine ever casting Migration Path, but that's okay because it's just free cycling, which just makes my deck smaller and lets me find the things I need to find. Vial of Dragonfire deals 2 damage, right?
Yeah, free shock.
Target creature. Free shock. I don't know how good of a payoff Archfiend of Ifnir is here, but I think it's going to be Archfiend, Path, and Kitesail Freebooter for me. Actually, don't hate Kitesail Freebooter.
Fair.
For the reason that if I'm on the play, being able to take a key win condition out of your hand could be very great. Though right now your best win condition is a creature, so...
Well, it is also relevant that, if I'm filling my deck with, Valley Ranet, I'm treating as a land in my deck. Now all the, hand hate that says take a, well, that is a creature, but all the hand hate that says take a non-land or whatever effect can often basically take lands out of your opponent's hand, which makes them very strong. This is, for me, pretty easy. A lot of reasonable picks here, but Temple Garden and a way to fetch it are pretty valuable.
Oh, no.
Speaking of brutal hand hate, Thoughtseize that lets you take lands from your opponent.
Pretty good, I hear. Is that what you're on, Anthony?
I don't think so. I'm feeling okay about kind of being this Selesnya deck. Obviously, I am open to.
You think you have colors?
I'm open to just doing the 5-color nonsense thing, but I really want to have the right mana turn 1. So I don't hate just taking this row. Kiora isn't super strong, but it's basically like so many of these cards you look at and you're just like, oh, actually the floor on that is just very reasonable. If I play a forest, play Kiora, untap the land, it costs me a card, but then if I can start casting spells, I can regain that card advantage. And the next turn, obviously, it does ramp
How many
you.
times do you actually be able to trigger that in this environment, though?
That's a great question.
I expect to trigger it basically never. But to your point, I mean, untapping other stuff could be
Right,
very relevant,
right.
like your free Stronic Resonator, for example.
Exactly. And I like having other Scattered Groves. A tapped land is a huge cost, but it's also just another card that cycles. And Porcelain Legionnaire blocks well.
Porcelain Legionnaire is the card I was most excited for out of that pack. Again,
Yeah.
it's just free. Like, it's hard to overstate my perspective on this environment. It's just, if I can play cards for free, I want to be doing that thing. All right, here, so I am higher on removal than it might seem. You're not going to get almost any removal that is free in this environment. I did, pass up on the Vial of Dragonfire, but it's rare. So something like Obnix's Cruelty will really help because I can remove your Monastery Mentor, which is, as of right now, really your best way of killing me. Also, it's pretty good against Hangerback Walker. So I think it's going to be this. I don't know how excited I am about any of these cards. They're all kind of like Bs or below for me, but let's find out.
All right, nobody wants to play Coercion either. Don't hate to see it.
Ooh, a Walking Ballista, a Frantic Search, an Unwind,
That's
a
kind of
Steel Overseer.
Hmm.
All right. So again, free spells, Pathway Arrows, kind of Frantic Search, Walking Ballista, Steel Overseer. Frantic Search here especially can be a ramp spell on later turns of the game. I say later turns of the game because, again, these games are historically very fast. So, not being a ramp spell till turn 2 or 3 is relevant. Not very high on Unwind because unless you're trying to interact on my turn, I don't think untapping those lands on your turn is going to be a huge value to me.
You do have a Snapcaster Mage.
I do have a Snapcaster Mage, and I do like Walking Ballista. So I do this, and unfortunately have to leave Steel Overseer on the table, though that would be pretty cool with my Saheeli.
All right, I'm going to have to read this Pathway Arrows. Equip creature, so it's all free to do. Tap it, 1 damage to target creature. If a colorless creature is dealt damage this way, tap it. So being able to ping things is kind of cool, and the free equip is cool, but yeah, I think that there are going to be a bunch of artifacts. I'll be happy with some more interaction and more free cards.
Even though, I said color is kind of a joke, I am narrowing it a little bit on a blue-black deck over here in terms of the colored spells I most want to cast.
All right, there's a lot of pips in this pack so far.
All right, Anthony, you're up. What is it, buddy? That pack was really pretty disgustingly laid out, I have to say.
Yeah. So Thassa's Oracle, I think, is the, we talked about Knight of the Ebon Legion, but it does get a discount on the activated ability. Thassa's Oracle is the only card that literally does not take advantage of the discount and kind of just is a win condition all on its own.
Yeah, I mean, we're only, 9 packs into the draft, and I think I have 6 or 7 free cyclers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 free cyclers, and we're on pack 9. So
Yeah.
a very reasonable win condition there.
So I'm a little bit terrified of that. I do kind of want this fixing. I think I actually really want that Dryad, though. So I'm trying to think, do I care about a Palladium Myrrh? I don't have a ton of ways to actually use that mana. Or do I just want to take these lands?
Land's good.
Or do I want to actually take hate the Thassa's Oracle from you? I think that might be the pick. How concerned about Urza am I?
I'll never tell.
All right, let's do that.
Now that you've done it, I think you've made a horrible mistake.
Really?
I think Urza is the best card in this pack by a pretty big margin.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. And Palladium Mirror, I'm also not that high on. Infected Vermin. So I'm taking Urza, Infected Vermin, and Misty. Kind of regretting not taking that Watery Grave when I had a chance, but what are you going to do? The answer is hope for... Ooh, I love all these free spells. Oh, this pack is going to be hard.
Oh, wow.
This pack is going to be really hard. All right, so what's jumping out at me? Mystic Forge is jumping out at me because it is restricted in Vintage. And, and that means it's really good. I'm going to have a lot of colorless cards in my deck, and a lot of them are not going to cost me any mana to cast. And so having Mystic Forge could potentially allow me to just have a really, really explosive turn. Then we have Ring of Valkus, Synod Sanctum, Cranial Archive, all free cards. Cranial Archive, cantrips, Synod Sanctum I got to read again. That one just allows me to protect stuff, basically. So that one I'm pretty low on. And Ring of Valkus, this is the one that gives things haste. Yeah, gives things haste. However, my pick is actually pretty easy. It's going to be Force of Will, Cranial Archive, and Trade Routes. Force of Will is just, I think, important here because I am going to want to be able to counter specific things. Also, this is a particularly beautiful version. Nice job, Anthony.
Thank you.
Cranial Archive, free cycler.
Nice job. It's Scott Fisher, right?
Yeah, good job, Scott.
Good job, Scott.
Cranial Archive, free cycler. And then Trade Routes, I think you mentioned it earlier when we were talking about this environment. Low-key, kind of going to be a little bit of an all-star here. Activated ability 1, return a land you control to the owner's hand. Activated ability 1, discard a land card to draw a card. So for free, later on, I can just start turning all my lands into cards. Return them all to my hand. Go off.
Yeah, seems pretty strong. So I definitely am looking at the fixing, and I am also going to take this Mystic Forge. I'm not confident I'm going to play it at this point, but I want my mana to work.
It's funny, I'm valuing fixing a lot lower than you, too. I feel like from all these free
Well, I have fewer than
mana sources.
than I wish I did. All right, number 11.
You are up first. Oh, come on. The other force, that's what I want.
So the forces I've actually found to be a little bit worse than they look just because you have so many artifacts and like off-color cyclers and things like that. It's sometimes you just like don't have cards that you can or want to discard.
Great. Well, then you just take, like doubling cube and ram it up excavator and let me have force.
I mean, the best pick for me is probably Excavator and Prison Realm.
Do it, baby.
But I think I need to take that force from you.
Shouldn't have said I liked it. Sucks.
Hey, drafting is important.
Doubling cube will produce mana, which is a thing. That's something. Nettle Cyst. Gotta read again. That, I think, is a very legitimate threat in this environment. I wish I had some kind of evasion. Excavator, I don't have anything. I mean, I guess it works with Trade Routes.
It's fine.
Bitter Ordeal again. This is the
All right, let's
Gravestorm
talk
card.
about Bitter Ordeal. I think this card is actually maybe viable here. I would love to see it succeed.
You know what? Maybe I'll give it a try.
He's gonna do it.
Sorcery-
You have trade routes.
Sorcery with Gravestorm. Search target player's library for a card. Remove that card from the game. That player shuffles their library, and it has Storm, but instead of for every spell, it's for every permanent put into a graveyard this turn, which happens quite a bit as well.
Yeah. So importantly, like
Okay.
when you read that card, you're like, oh, every creature that dies is what Gravestorm means, but it's not.
Every egg you
it's
crack,
from
baby.
every egg you crack, every land you cycle. If you have trade routes, you discard half your deck. And what's interesting is, these decks are pretty full of air, like a lot of
Yeah.
cheap cantrips and rituals. So if you can just like
I'm ready to turn one.
cast that for 4 and just like
Gravestorm you for
rip
5 or 6 and just take all win conditions out of your deck.
all win conditions out of my deck.
Leave you with an impotent Imperial Recruiter. He like shuddered as I
Huh?
gasped.
No, I moved the. I was moving another card. Boop.
All right.
Two.
So I gasped because I love Tireless Tracker in this environment.
Really?
What do you mean, really?
I mean, it's good.
It turns all of your land drops into draw a card.
That's true.
It's great.
You're not wrong.
I love that in this environment. Tulrund, I'm pretty low on, actually, because most of my deck is going to be free artifacts and not free instants and sorceries. Crashing Drawbridge is free. I like that. But I think Shadow of the Grave is what's going to pull me in here a little bit.
I love to see it.
I've already got this Bitter Ordeal thing going on. I've got Trade Routes, Shadow of the Grave. That is a real combo.
Does it only get back things that actually have cycling, though?
No, every card you discard of his turn, right?
Every card... Oh, yeah. Or discarded. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. It works.
It's going to be nuts. So that's what I'm taking. First pack, I think I've not taken the free card when I had a chance to. But the payoff is big enough there.
Now I'm looking at Sacred Foundry and then either some more lands. I don't have anything that's black, even in my sort of set-aside cards that I'm interested in. So let's take that Drawbridge.
Drawbridge is great.
Really? It's actually sort of been on the maybe list to get cut.
Haste is very relevant in this environment in my experience because you're going to make so many creature and tokens and stuff, and then if you have to pass the turn, why you first? This sucks.
Power.
I think we're tied on power at that point then.
Crystals are not quite power, but they're close.
Not that they're not close. They're much worse.
again, the floor is easy because either you cycle it or you play it and it generates some mana. So like you either get to stay neutral on mana or neutral on cards, which is kind of an interesting way. I
Yeah.
actually really like the way they play.
Yeah, it gives you a nice choice, but this doesn't give you a choice. It just gives you both.
Just gives you both.
Take mana and cards.
It is worth noting, like, it's going to cycle. I'm going to take it. I'm going to love it. But if I don't have... I don't have a lot of things that are going to cost any generic mana, and I'm probably not going to be playing any black cards, so... And very few red cards, so I'm not actually going to be able to use it that well. This is the card one or the land one? Draw a card. Well, I'll take free cyclers.
How are you not taking Chatterstorm there? I don't understand. That seems like a huge mistake.
Really?
You're in green, and you're not taking Chatterstorm.
I don't know how good it is.
It's about to get banned in Pauper.
That could be a mistake. You're right. I should have taken.
The other thing which I value pretty highly here, which I haven't mentioned yet, is just card advantage. So Read the Bones I rank pretty highly because you'll run out of cards very quickly. Yeah, you should be excited for these games, Oko. I love this cube. It's fun as heck. So I'm taking this Free Cycler and this Read the Bones. It's worth noting, when I take it in Endotha Crystal, I am mostly expecting not to cast it. I am mostly expecting to cycle it. And the Read the Bones will just be card positive. I get more power!
Hey, you get power.
Woo!
Smuggler's Copter.
Oh, but I can't take
Underground
I
Sea.
can't take my duel I need?
Maybe you'll get another own. Nope.
Okay, almost this entire pack is free to cast, except
Amazing.
for Volt Charge and Vryn Wingmare. So, Golden Egg is the obvious power outlier here. I really want that. And you're not going to be able to... I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you. Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Kaleidostone looks bad, but free cycling.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad, actually. I mean, it's got free cycling and then get to 3 mana, produces 2 mana. I'm into it. So, this is what I'm on. Volt Charge, Kaleidostone, and Golden Egg.
All right, so Smuggler's Copter is a lot worse than it looks because games are short. You don't have that many opportunities to get in with it. Again, in a grid draft, I don't think these like tax cards are really going to pay off, and like I'm not going to have a density of them to take advantage of the fact that, or to mitigate the fact that they're symmetrical. So I think I'm just going to end up on this kind of lackluster row of free cards.
Oh, no.
Unless I want to
All
take
these cards I can cast
Altar
for
of
no mana.
Dementia as sort of a backup win condition.
It would have been really good with Chatterstorm, is all I'm saying.
There's no way I'm using Underground Sea, right? Yeah. All right. Well, sad. Let's take these.
I am quite sad to have missed my Underground Sea and my Watery Grave, but
Nope.
I'm not passing Golden Egg. Like, that also fixes my mana while drawing me cards, so you won't get me off of it. All right, you're up.
Nature's Lore.
Rebelid.
Hell yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh, boy.
It was funny. I posted this cube on Reddit, and somebody's
I
like,
saw that comment.
I don't know if Learn and Lesson really makes the cut here. It's like,
recommend not playing Learn and Lesson. It narrows the draft
I apologize to that user, but
I do not.
This card is just a Prismatic Vista, but
Read.
instead of paying a life,
Read
it
and
gains
use
you
your
2
brain,
life.
Reddit user.
All right, we got a lot going on in this pack.
I'm thrilled because you can't take Yawgmoth's Will from me because you have to take Environmental Sciences.
Do I have to take Environmental Sciences?
I think you do.
I'm much happier about taking Nature's Lore another way to get my Recruiter. Nature's Lore untapped, right?
Yeah.
That's busted. This cube's busted.
I mean, it still costs a mana.
It does still cost a
I
mana.
am very shocked by that pick.
Okay,
But,
I'm feeling good about that.
all right, well, I'm definitely taking Environmental... Wait, no, hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Hold on.
I really wish I could... So, Yawgwill's the best card in this pack for me. For sure. The next 2 best cards are Trinket Mage and Wander in Death, which are kind of tied. See, Trinket Mage is almost like having another egg, because it's just going to find me an egg.
Right.
So it's going to cost a blue mana. It's not going to be free, but it is going to draw me a card and then draw me another card and then make mana to get back from itself. Yawgwill is really hard to pass up. The thing with Yawgwill is like, I think Yawgwill's just kind of broken here. And then I will definitely take Wander in Death instead of
over Stupor?
Yeah, because you discard cards of your choosing, right?
One of them is random.
One
of them
of your
is.
choosing.
This is a really interesting card. I don't know what they were like. Hey, we have Hymn to Turok, which the randomness card's a little rough. We have Mind Rot, and if they get to choose, it's not that great. How about we split the difference?
No, I think Wander in Death is good. I mean, it's free cycling.
That's a good point.
And
Yeah,
it
yeah.
also
no, you're right. Cycling
helps
is-
me buy back some of my perilously few win conditions. So I can't believe neither of us took Environmental Sciences.
I put it pretty comparably in a green deck with Nature's Lore. The fact that Nature's Lore actually does
gotta
ramp you,
pay
so
mana for Nature's Lore.
you're not wrong. All right, we haven't actually seen a lot of the basic land cycling yet. but there it is. We got some more
And this is
text
me now,
cards.
yes.
This is you at number 16.
Mir Superior is funny here.
It's very
Because
funny.
you never spend any mana to cast it, so it doesn't matter that you can only spend mana.
Most of the time when I'm designing a cube, I really want to avoid noise and like text that doesn't work or doesn't behave the way you think it is. That's just like really unintuitive because I want to design cubes that are mostly approachable. This is a different experience, and the fact that this text is completely confusing is okay with me.
All right, this pack has no power, and it does have 2 free cards in Stonecoil Serpent and Mir Superior. But I'm not on them because both Ancient Excavation and Windfall are very good in my Yawgmoth's Will deck
That's
that I'm
definitely
pretty
true.
excited about playing. So it's going to be Windfall and Ancient Excavation with an Incidental Glow Rider for me here.
The free spells are very good. So this crack open 1 mana, destroy an artifact or enchantment, and create a treasure. So it's basically a free destroy a thing, but I think the free spells, I should probably actually see how many playables. We're getting down to the end of the draft here.
I think I'm going to be kind of spell wipe. I can't decide if that's interesting or not. Like, make me play more cards I wouldn't be playing otherwise. Like, a deck's going to work no matter what. But
9. Yeah, I'm just going to take some free creatures.
hi to everyone out there viewing. If you're new here, welcome. I like
Welcome. Sorry.
hearing where people are from. It's always very exciting to me to hear that we have people from all over the world watching this stream. That's very exciting. You're up first here. I didn't know you had that copy of WoG. Oh,
Wow.
come on. Come on.
All right, lots to talk about in this pack. Obviously, I have to take this. Expedition map is free. It's nuts. Retrofitter
Ugh.
Foundry is nuts, and I get another recruiter.
That's a pretty amazing row for you.
That really
honestly,
that
this late in
really
the game.
ties the deck together, as they say.
Well, Elsewhere Flask
Flask.
says 2 mana draw a card. Choose any basic. That's also mana fixing. So I'm excited about Elsewhere Flask. I would play Hostage Taker in this deck probably. And that's probably the only other card I would play here. I'll take Buried Ruin too. All right, Buried Ruin's an okay little piece of
Yeah, so
recursion.
Buried Ruin is basically just a spell that takes a land slot, but otherwise is free.
All right, we got 1 pack left, right?
1 pack.
And I
left.
get to go first. Come on, baby. Triple power row. Give it
Well,
to daddy.
You get to draw 2 cards.
Spare supplies
you get a
is pretty
land.
great.
Ooh, you can punish me.
I don't want those. Guardian Idol I like.
Okay. You have Trinket Mage is a wizard, right?
I don't have Trinket Mage.
Oh, you didn't take it.
No.
It's actually maybe not a wizard.
I have Snapcaster Mage.
You have Snapcaster.
Snapcaster's a wizard.
You thought this started out weird, but now we have free wizard cycling on the table.
It's my only wizard. Huh. I can't pass up spare supplies here. And if I'm going to take spare supplies, I'm just going to take that other free card in Guardian Idol. Really wish Guardian Idol didn't come into play tapped. I think it's a lot worse for that fact.
That's definitely true.
There's an argument that I should be taking Aetherflux Reservoir here because I
Yeah.
definitely have the kind of deck that can actually win with Storm with a combination of Shadow of the Grave and Yawgmoth's Will letting me take an obscene number of game actions. Though worth noting, a lot of those game actions are going to be cycling, which is not going to up the Storm count.
that is a challenging aspect.
I'm going to stick with this row here. Be a little sad to not be playing Aetherflux Reservoir, which I would put in my deck, but...
I'm a little bit surprised by that. I would probably take and play the spare supplies. It's a free cycler that also draws
did.
you an extra card.
I did.
I'm surprised you didn't leave that to me. I would have been happy with it.
Why am I not happy with it?
Well, I thought you would have wanted the Aetherflux Reservoir.
Oh, no, not that much.
Okay. So I don't think I'm playing anything from this pack. I could potentially, I could put Aetherflux Reservoir in my deck, but it costs 2 mana. Wait,
2 mana
hold
is
on,
a lot
hold
of
on,
mana.
Hold on. I
You
put
moved
those.
these
I put those
cards.
back
Hold
in
on,
there.
you're
I put
cheating
those.
over
I'm
here
cheating.
now.
Let me do a quick wizard check. You always gotta. This is the thing about Magic the Gathering. You always gotta do a quick wizard check. Gargoyle, human monk, nymph, god, squirrel. All right, we don't have any wizards, so I'll take a sideboard Aetherflux Reservoir.
Free Wizard Cycling is good. All right, what's your deck named, Anthony?
Cool draft. Monastery Mentor .deck. Or whatever you prefer.
I'm going to call mine UB Gravestorm.
UB Gravestorm. I love it.
What do you want yours to be? The monk connection? What do you want to call your deck?
Hmm. Hmm.
All right.
Steel.
You take some time to decide.
Steel monks.
I'm going to take the deck building cam.
Okay.
All right, friends. Here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to take all these broken cards and put them into our deck. This card is broken. 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 Broken. A little less broken. Actually, I put that in the wrong pile. That one does actually cost mana to play. Broken. 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 Now, it is worth noting that I think Timeless Dragon having plains cycling makes it a lot worse than having basic land cycling, because I'm at present not planning on playing any white cards in my deck aside from Timeless Dragon, which is a little annoying because I either have to play a plains or cut the Timeless Dragon, and I really like the free cycling. One of the perennial questions of this cube is how many basic lands do you actually play? Because, let's see here. All right, that actually costs mana. Now I'm going to take the cards that cost mana that I'm going to play. These are all my 1-drops, my 2-drops. This one also can be free, so let's put it in the free pile. Also can be free. Look at all these broken free cards I have. One thing you'd say about Anthony is he really just hates the mana system. He's like, why is there mana in Magic?
Yeah, the color pie is really overrated.
Am I going to play that? Let's find out.
That's not true, though.
Yeah, we're joking. Those are funny jokes. This is a free spell as well. I don't think I want to play that. Oh, I got a 2-drop? Disgusting. Two 2-drops? All right, here we go. Retrofitter Foundry with these rules is kind of messed up. If you want to wrap your head around it, it's for free every turn you can make a servo, right? Can you pull Retrofitter Foundry up for a second, Anthony?
Sure. I'm also going to get confused by it.
So for free every turn you can make a servo because the servo ability and casting Retrofitter Foundry cost nothing. So you just can make servos all you want. You can also upgrade any number of servos to constructs at any time, assuming Retrofitter Foundry is untapped. And then untapping it only costs 1 mana. So basically, it's like servo to construct is free. Thopter to construct is free because you don't have to worry paying those mana costs. Same as servo to Thopter. But really what ends up happening with this card in my experience is that you just pay 1 mana for every servo you want to make. And if you have some kind of mess, like if I had gotten this card with Urza, for example, is that actually infinite? That is infinite. I found an infinite combo, Anthony.
Oh, really?
Urza Retrofitter Foundry. Make a servo, tap it for blue, untap Retrofitter Foundry, make another servo, make them huge, turn them all into constructs.
Seems good.
Pretty good.
Glad I took it.
But this card mostly plays out in terms of just making tons and tons and tons of servos and winning the game that way, which is pretty messed up. All right, so here's my deck, my little Gravestorm deck over here. These cards are all free. How many of them are there? There's quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21 cards I don't have to pay any mana for. Though I think I am going to cut this Timeless Dragon, which feels bad, but I'm not playing any white cards. It only has plain cycling. I did not end up with off-color planes that would fix my mana, so Timeless Dragon's going to have to get the cut. I feel bad about it. Then, how many of these cards draw a card? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 of my cards draw a card, many of which are free. Are you finished deck building already?
I think so.
How'd you get there so fast? All right, Buried Ruin's great. Just going to buy back an egg. Inkmoth Nexus. I don't know if that's worth the colorless land slot. I mean, it's free to activate. I have no way to pump it, no way to put counters on it. Right? I don't see any way to pump it at all. Oh, I lied. I can put Neldicist on it. Get in here. Inkmoth Nexus. That's for sure happening.
I think it's legitimately pretty easy to not have enough blue cards to pitch to pitch cards.
Yeah, I don't have a ton. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue cards to pitch to force. I mean, I think I'm more likely than not to see one, especially given how much of my deck I'm going to be able to cantrip through and draw. So I'm actually not worried about not being able to pitch to force, but I don't have. It's definitely a consideration. Where in many environments it's just not a consideration because you always have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 38. All right, I need to make a couple cuts here because I need a few more basic land slots. Because how many blue and black sources do I have right now? Let's see. So 1, 2, 3. No, that's not basic land cycling. That's just regular cycling. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right now, I only have 4 colored land sources. So I'm going to make some cuts here. Keeping Bitter Ordeal, Read the Boat. So Kitesail Freebooter, I think, is maybe going to get the axe. I said I thought it maybe was viable, but turns out, aside from Retrofitter Foundry, unless I'm misremembering some of Anthony's pool, there's not a whole lot of stuff I'm interested in. It's a non-creature that I want to rip from him. Supreme Will, I'm expecting to almost always use for the cantrip mode, which makes it less appealing. Similarly, Unwind, I'm not super excited about, given that Anthony's win conditions are largely creature-based. That is a blue card for force, which is a real consideration here, but I think I can get away without it. And they got Saheeli and Urza, which are necessary win conditions, I would say. Urza's kind of a loose win condition, but... All right, so I'm going to cut these two, Unwind and Kitesail Freebooter, which puts me now at... I got one more blue-black source over here. Can I get some basic lands?
Yeah, what do you need?
Islands and swamps, and give me like, I don't know, 6 of each. I'm going to play less than that, but...
6 of each. Okay, I'm gonna...
Colorless land is a big cost. I wouldn't even think about them as land slots, though. Like, Buried Ruin is just a, regrowth for an artifact, which will very often be an egg, which will very often produce mana. Inkmoth Nexus is just a creature, essentially. Oh, man, these are some metal basics. I love it. Oh, Anthony, these basics.
You gotta choose. It's gonna be a hard choice.
I guess I'm gonna do a little bit of variety here.
Okay.
Because it's more fun to have a variety. And I'll take this Japanese kaiju land as well.
Excellent choice.
All right, what we got over here? Island Town. I like that. I feel like that's stylish.
Usually, I'm also
Kaiju
on
Island.
the side of consistency and making things very legible. But this cube is not about that. And also, I think we're not going to have a lot of different lands in play. Games are going to go short. I don't think it's going to be that confusing that these are completely illegible basics.
All right, let me see here. Here are your monk tokens you're going to need, by the way.
Oh, great! I will need those.
These back to you. Don't smear them.
Okay.
It's very important. You don't smear my beautiful artwork. Now remember, I have 19 ways to draw a card, most of which are free. So that kind of... How many ways are actually free? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 of my 19 ways are free. So I'm really kind of playing a 25 card deck in terms of thinking about my lands. And then right now, land-wise, Cave of Temptation is a dual land. It taps for blue or black. And then I'm going to want some blue and black lands as well. I do want enough lands that I can find them reliably to make Frantic Search good and also to make trade routes good. So I think actually going a little heavier on lands than I normally would is not a bad idea here. Wander in Death. Did Wander in Death get there? I can get 2 creature cards back to my hand. It's free cycling. Of course it got there. What am I talking about? Shut your mouth, Mangold. So, I also have a very real question of, do I actually keep my 1 removal spell as a single piece of interaction, or do I just try and go over the top of Anthony's deck? I think I'm just going to cut it. Get out of here. Let's just go over the top. Playing go over the top deck. All right, forgive me for continuing to count people, but I don't know what I'm doing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So that's 41 cards with these 6 lands. Inkmoth Nexus is pretty sus without exactly Nettle Cyst. It takes up a land drop for the turn. So if I play 8 lands, I gotta do the hypergeometrics on how likely I am to have a land in my opener with 8 lands in my deck. I think over 50%, right? And I think I probably play this Bloodstained Mire to thin my deck and find a swamp instead of one of these swamps. Nah, screw that. Swamps look nice. I like their art. All right. I think this is my deck. So just to kind of talk through it, we are playing largely a free spell deck where I'm trying to churn through my entire deck very quickly, perhaps multiple times, with Yawgmoth's Will, Shadow of the Grave being very key cards here. Trade Routes also, I think, goes into this category. These cards are going to be very key to me digging at Windfall. These are kind of my 4 big key enabling cards that are going to let me go kind of nuts and just dig through my deck very quickly. In terms of win conditions, Bitter Ordeal, I think, is a very real win condition. I'm going to play that. I'm going to take all of Anthony's win conditions out of his deck and then kill him with whatever I have left.
I really hope that works.
Saheeli, I think, is a very, very good win condition. Probably my next best win condition in terms of just making tons of artifacts, copying my best artifacts, kind of going ham there. Urza, also kind of a win condition in that it will make a ton of mana, which I can then pump into something like... where'd it go? Walking Ballista, or potentially just activating Urza over and over again to play my entire deck. Ancient Excavation also goes in this pile here of big enablers. So yeah, Nettle Cyst is also kind of a win condition. Light on win conditions, but that's kind of what I like to play in this environment. Decks that are all about churning through and all that kind of power. I might just also kind of think with an Archfiend of Ifni that I just attack a couple times with. That's possible. It can get there.
Archfiend, you can also just cast for 3 mana and then cycle a couple things.
Oh, thank you for doing that math for me, Drew. 81% chance to have 1 land in your opener with 8 lands in the deck. 77 if you don't count Berry Ruin as a land. All right, that's very helpful. And that's with an opening hand. And remember that opening hand is likely to contain numerous free cyclers. Yeah. So even though you're only looking at 7, technically, really more like 10, 12 probably in the opening hand is what I'm going to guess. I do have Shelter Thicket as a land, though I never plan to play this as a land. I have no red or green mana sources on my deck. I just plan to cycle that for free. Anthony, before I switch over to your view, you have to tell me what your deck name is.
Let's go with Retrofitter Monks. Or, yeah.
Retrofitter Monks. Anthony, give us that deck guide. I'll move everything to that side a little bit. There you go.
I will do it. Okay, so I've chosen to break down my deck a little bit differently. Basically, usually I want to lay out my deck by curve, but everything here costs 0 or 1 with a couple exceptions. So I've got lands. I'm counting some things as lands, which are definitely not lands, because they're free to go get one. Next up, I've got things that just are free cyclers. So these are basically just, my deck is a 35-card deck instead of a 40-card deck. We got free spells. We have some white spells and a red spell and a bunch of green spells. I feel, this is a grid draft. It's not going to be a perfectly tuned deck, despite being extremely powerful.
Speak for yourself. Mine's perfect.
There are a couple things which, are maybe not exactly what I would want to be playing in terms of like Stonecloaker. Some of these free spells I don't expect to be, really impactful or work with the rest of the deck, but are just going to let me fill the board really quickly and hopefully get ahead and win, protecting all this other stuff or just being a fallback win condition. Some other things I've got, like so specifically like Diamond Lion. It's not really doing a lot for me. And then I'm hoping to be able to just generate enough mana to start making a bunch of squirrels and sapperlings, play extra lands, and I have some removal for artifacts and enchantments, which I think is going to be relevant. I did end up playing the Mystic Forge just because, this is already, I think, too many lands. So I'm happy to try that out. In the sideboard, I did end up not playing Bag of Holding. Just because I don't actually
roasted.
have that many cyclers. I have, the Valley Ranet in these 2 lands, which same with Andy. I don't really expect to be playing those as lands, but that's not really a payoff with the Bag of Holding. I also have, what do I have? A Cleansing Nova in the sideboard, which honestly I could see bringing in. The Wraths are kind of weird in this format. 2 mana is a lot to pay for a card, but if it can kill your opponent's whole turn 1 when they've dumped their hand, that's pretty relevant. So I'll consider sideboarding that in. Another thing I might consider sideboarding in, which is not to do with the matchup, but just to do with my understanding of the format, is I do have the Aetherflux Reservoir, which I could see maybe actually being correct, but I don't think so.
Yeah. Your mana's a lot better than mine. I'm jealous of that.
I'm pretty happy with the
You
mana.
did prioritize that. I mean, I got to say, just from looking at your deck, and we can test this theory, I feel okay about this matchup because Anthony is, by comparison, doing much more fair stuff. Like, we got Prison Realm, Jade Mage, Dryad of the Elysian Grove, Apprentice of the Untamed, like, Ronus. These cards are all fine, and again, fine is very powerful in this environment because of that 2-mana discount, but they're all like, I'm going to play to a board, and I'm going to attack you, and I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And I plan to ignore that completely by doing just pure broken stuff.
I'm really glad I took the Thassa's Oracle. I feel like I would be much less favored if you had access to just like a pure win condition in that.
Yeah, I would have played it for sure pretty happily.
Yeah.
Because I do have all those wheels and that trade routes. It would be a pretty easy way for me to win the game, I think.
But if you actually get there with Bitter Ordeal, I would be delighted.
You do have more win conditions than I expected you to end up with, so I need to Bitter Ordeal for a lot to truly just make you scoop on the spot, I imagine. Yeah. It'll actually be kind of a difficult decision. The card I'm most afraid of by far is Monastery Mentor.
And I only have 3 copies of it in the deck.
Only 3 copies of Monastery Mentor in the deck, and only however many free cyclers to just churn through your deck and find them as quick as possible.
I really wish I had a Pulse of Marasa. That would be
Let's roll the big dice so people can see what's going on.
7. Ooh. As we know, dice rolls are extremely important in this format. 15.
All right. Are you on the play, Anthony?
I'm going to be on the play.
Are you
I
sure?
cannot imagine that ever being the wrong choice.
All right. Hello out there to all you viewers in viewer land, Twitch land. We are playing a very silly cube, and I think it will be a fun time for all involved.
So we're also
I'll do my opening hand first.
Okay. How much do opening hands even matter when half of it's or all of it's just going to cycle away anyway?
All right, don't look, Anthony.
I'm not looking.
Oops, I took 8 cards. I'll shuffle.
Come on, it's not that
I'll
turbo.
shuffle. All right. I don't really want Anthony to hear what's going on, but this is my opening hand, everybody. So as you can see, I have this card, this card, this card, and this card, which I don't actually know what cards those are. Anthony surely can't derive anything from this. This card does also produce mana. So even though I don't have one of those land things, I don't think I need to worry about it.
One of those lands?
I think
you
I
mean
can
a land?
keep. I think I can keep this hand without any lands pretty happily, and we'll see what happens.
All right. I'll draw a hand over here.
What's up, Jay? Let's go to Anthony. Yeah, I like this hand.
I also drew
pretty
8
happy
cards.
with it.
Is this Alchemist Vial just chilling?
Oh no! Anthony saw my Alchemist Vial.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I have that, and we have some of these. And unfortunately, we drew this card, but I think we'll get there.
Everybody, buckle up. Turbo Team.
Are you ready for turbo time?
Are you ready for Turbo Time? I love this cube so much.
Okay. Are you ready?
I got to
keep this
switch
hand?
back to the head-to-head
Okay.
view. And let's move our decks a little bit so they're more centered because it'll
Okay.
bother me otherwise.
That's fair.
Anthony, take it away. It's Turbo Time.
It's turbo time. I'm going to cast an expedition map.
Oh, no. Broken.
I'm going to crack an expedition map.
With no mana?
No mana.
It never gets old for me.
It never gets old.
I'd love this cube.
The amount of stuff you can do before you even play a land here is just a delight. All right, we're going to go ahead and get the Savannah. Just put that back in my hand, because I'm not done. Should I play around Force Spike?
I don't have Force Spike. I have Force of
It's
Will,
not
though.
in the cube. I'll cast a Myr Superior. Can only be
Yeah.
cast with mana spell
You've got a
produced by
5/6.
creatures. I'm going to cast a Voltaic Key.
Okay, you got a
I'm
5/6
gonna-
with Vigilance.
Cast a Retrofitter Foundry.
Oh, no.
Let's go ahead and play the Savannah.
Everything is going very poorly. At least I know it's no Monastery Mentor coming, because it obviously would have come down already.
And a Jade Mage.
Sure, you can make a
Let's
bunch of
go.
1/1s. What do I give a crap about? I don't care. Whatever. Is that it?
That's it.
You call that a turn? You didn't even draw any cards, you
I
idiot.
didn't draw any cards. I'm a little light on
All right,
cantrips.
I'll draw. Let me show you how it's done, Anthony.
Okay.
Alchemist Vial. Draw a card.
Yep. Game action count is at 1.
Kaleidostone. Draw a card. Prophetic Prism. Draw a card. Golden Egg.
Whoa.
Draw a
Okay, now
card.
I'm scared.
I told you I was going to show you how it was done. I'll cycle Wander in Death. Draw a card.
Oof.
Now let me think about my lines here. Because I
So
have
you
a lot
can
of
make
them.
the Gravestorm too.
One. That I can't sacrifice till I get to 5 mana, and I only have... I can sacrifice the 3 mana, and I have 2 mana right now. That doesn't produce mana. Those do. So if I can get to 3, I can crack a Kaleidostone for 5 mana. Alright, here's what we'll do. Play an island. Tap this. Sacrifice the egg for a color of mana that doesn't matter. Tap this to sacrifice the Kaleidostone for full Wooburg.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Wooburg in
You
my mana
did
pool.
it. Yikes.
Then I will use the blue and the red to play Saheeli.
Okay.
Got Abzan left in my mana pool. I will play Strionic Resonator. Give me a dice for Saheeli, actually, before I forget. I'll play a Strionic Resonator, trigger, servo token. I'm just going to use dice to count the servo tokens because otherwise it's going to get out of hand. Thank you very much. All right. I'm going to play a Jawbone Skulkin.
Okay.
Not a non-creature spell. Does not trigger my friend Saheeli. Let me see here. So I still have Abzan in my mana pool.
Mm-hmm.
I will use the white for Nettle Cyst.
Okay.
That does trigger Saheeli.
It sure does.
Make another servo. Got 2 of those. Nettle Cyst comes with a Germ token. Anthony's fetching me that Germ token. Thank you, friend. This is currently keyword big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I actually think I'm going to also copy the triggered ability when I cast the Nettle Cyst on Saheeli.
Sure,
Make
make an
another
extra.
servo.
Huh. How do I beat your big creature?
Then let's... You know what I should have done? I should have... Here's what I'll do. I'm going to downtick Saheeli to make one of these servos a copy of Strionic Resonator.
Cool.
I'm going to sacrifice Alchemist Vial. Mere Superior and can't attack or block this turn. And then I will use my black mana in my mana pool to cast Gravestorm, Bitter Ordeal, rather,
For
with
4?
Gravestorm 4. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, just Gravestorm
Oh, right, because
3.
that's a
So I get 4 copies, because I get the copy and then
right,
3
right,
other
right.
copies.
You can't sacrifice anything else?
And when I do that, I will use the Strionic Resonator servo to copy the triggered ability again to make 2 more servos.
Okay, we're trying to play a game like we don't need to play optimally, right? We just want to explore the depth of this, right?
No, I'm playing optimally. Why?
Okay, well you missed a. Okay, go ahead.
What could I
Gravestorm me
have
for.
done? What else could I have Gravestormed you for?
Am I not correct if you move the Nettle Cyst and the token dies, the germ token, does it only count cards?
Each permanent put into a graveyard. I guess I could. Yeah, but I kind of want that creature.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
All right, so Gravestorm for 4, or Bitter Ordeal rather for 4. This card should be called Gravestorm. Markers of Filling Mana is not a terrible idea. I still have a green mana in my mana pool, of note. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the cards we're most worried about, which is to say Monastery Mentor is kind of broken. What else am I most worried about? That's my biggest concern by far. My next temptation is just to take powerful enablers like Shadowblood Egg is kind of broken for him to draw. I think Altar of Dementia is a real win condition against me. And Skycloud Egg. So if I take those, what does that leave you with? I mean, you already have one of your best win conditions in play, which is Retrofitter Foundry. Which is fine. Hangback Walker is also okay, but I think I'd rather take these busted enablers from you along with Monastery Mentor. So my Bitter Ordeal is going to take Monastery Mentor, Shadowblug Egg, Altar of Dementia, and Skycloud Egg.
Wow. Where do they go? Exiled?
They are exiled. Here's your deck back.
Thank you.
Here's your good cards that I took from you.
Rude.
There's my Bitter Ordeal in the graveyard. Anthony, I dare say that is how you play the Turbo Cube.
All right.
That is how you have
I think you really showed me up there.
That is how you have a
You
turn
should
of
have
the Turbo
mulliganed.
Cube. I'm going to leave that green mana in my mana pool. It is just not going to do anything.
Okay. If you want to build some mana trackers over here.
I think I can. I don't think I'm going to need it again.
Okay.
Kaleidostone is unique in that it produces mana
Right.
can't always use.
All right, so you're going to pass the turn.
I'm going to pass the turn.
I'm going to go ahead and activate my Retrofitter Foundry. Let's make a servo, untap it with a Voltaic key, and make a second servo.
Yeah, I mean, Voltaic Key Retrofitter Foundry might be enough to just win you this game, I
Untap.
think. But I've had more
Draw a
fun. I
card
took
for
way more
turn.
game actions, so. And that's how you measure fun in Magic. 1, 2,
All right,
3, 4,
Forest.
9. So this is a 9/9 Germ token.
9/9. That sure makes my 5/6 look like a real chump.
At least you didn't have to pay mana for it.
You're not wrong.
I think it makes your Jade Mage look like a chump.
Jade Mage can still go wide.
It can go wide, that's
Okay.
true.
As much as I would like to make some Saprolings here, I think I need to go with Plan B. And play a Mystic Forge.
Yikes.
All right. Does that resolve?
Oh, it resolves.
Excellent. Let's take a look over here. And I think we got to just cast whatever we can hit. So let's play Hangerback on 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, normally not what you want to do is playing it on 1, but here the fact that it also says draw a card is well worth it.
Exile the top card of your library. So how much do I want to exile that card for the chance of hitting another artifact?
A lot,
A
right?
lot? All right.
What
let's
are
do
we
it.
here to do if not that?
Pay 1 life. So I will go to... Wow, does life total matter in this format?
Yo, you're paying a life?
Yeah.
Down to 19.
I will exile Ronus. Get over here with these eggs. Take a look at that. And I'll say go.
See, I'm having so much more fun. My turns are so much longer. It's great.
I'm having big turns.
I'll
You're
untap. I will draw a card.
These are big turns.
All right. Let me think about my sequencing here. I think I'm going to want to play this instead of that. Surely. But then I think I want to activate that a lot of times.
Yeah, I bet you will.
All right. Land for turn is going to be Buried Ruin.
Okay.
I'll produce a blue from the Prophetic Prism for Urza.
You've got Urza.
Let me move these around
Trigger?
a little bit. That does not trigger anything. Well, I just trigger when it enters the battlefield
Yeah.
because I get a construct. Did you
Sure
give me the
does.
construct tokens?
I gave you the construct. I gave you the tokens I saw you draft.
All right, there's our construct. Now, it's worth noting here, this is also win condition because this construct is currently an 11/11. So,
Yeah.
also just a win condition in that regard. Though Anthony can chump block literally forever. So, that's not likely to be a very useful thing. All right. So, now I can spin Urza quite a few times because it only costs 3 to activate. So, I can spin it 3 times right now
Wow.
safely.
Yeah, that's rough.
But
I don't know how
I think
to
what
win
I'm going to
this.
do is, well, no, because I might hit more things off of Urza I want to get back instead. All right, so let's go ahead and tap 3 of these. I'm going to have to use 2 counts for the servos here. So that's my untapped servos, and this is going to be my tap servos.
He can take his turn as long as he wants.
All right,
Have a drink of water.
activate Urza. I'm going to shuffle, and then reveal a top card, exile a top card, and play it without paying its mana cost. Not that any of my cards have mana cost anyway.
But they do still technically have mana costs,
Yes, but
which is relevant for lots of things.
all right, I shuffled. I'm going to reveal. I almost said out loud I might reveal Force of Will.
The most expensive card. you could
If I don't cast it, it's just exiled. Yeah. All right. That's exiled. Fine. Actually, I need to have something on the stack to target to cast it. I would love to just get a stupid servo token, but nothing on the stack, so that's just not happening. Fine. All right, I'm going to tap the Nettle Cyst and these other servos for simplicity's sake, even though I should tap other things first probably, to activate Urza again. Right, thank you. That's more clear. There's my shuffle and reveal Ancient Excavation.
Wow.
All right, so I am definitely going to cast this. I only have one card in hand, which kind of sucks. But
What does that card actually do? A lot of these land cycling
draw
cards.
cards equal to the number of cards in your hand, then discard a card for each card drawn this way. So I'm just going to loot. Draw
Okay.
one, discard one. But I am going to loot and make a servo,
Sure.
and I'm going to copy that trigger to make 2 servos.
Seems good.
And these will be untapped servos. Maybe I should have...
This is going to be a little bit of a
I think
longer
with
game
that-
than I was expecting.
all right. That's fine. So I'm going to draw and discard. I'll discard an island. I'll cycle a Sheltered Thicket. Draw. All right, so I still have enough mana to do this again, and I will. Let's activate my friend Urza again.
So you tap two more servos and a Skulkin.
Yep. I wonder if I should have down-ticked Saheeli to... I'm saving that Saheeli activation for something better maybe to happen. Okay. Carpet shedding quite a bit. All right, there's my shuffle. Reveal. Ugh,
A swamp. It's a 6 swamp, though.
too many lands in my hand, in my library, so that just stays exiled. Can't play that. All right, well now I have no more activations of Urza that I can do because I tapped those other cards for mana. I only have 1 mana available. So let's go ahead and crack this Buried Ruin, and I'm going to buy back a Golden Egg. I will cast Golden Egg, trigger, make a servo. And let's crack the Golden Egg, produce a black mana.
Does the egg not draw a card on ETB?
It does draw a card in ETB, thank you. Crack Golden Egg for black mana. Let's cast Read the Bones, trigger, make another servo.
Wow, you just want to use as many different colored dice as possible, huh?
Yep, just to tilt you. All right, so I'm going to scry 2, then draw 2, then lose 2. Scry 2. That's interesting. I think I'll keep both of those on top and then draw both of those and then lose 2 life, go to 18. Read the Bones is resolved. And then I'm going to play an Elsewhere Flask, trigger Saheeli,
Mm-hmm.
draw a card. Interesting. I know what I want to do now. Let's... tap the Elsewhere Flask. Let's just tap these 3 servos to make this easier for logistically. Activate Urza again.
I don't think you really need to shuffle as long as you're not manipulating the top of your library.
I'm shuffling. I'm
Okay.
following the rules, Anthony.
Okay.
This is a very high-stakes event.
Trade routes.
Reveal trade routes. You quite literally love to see it. I will cast trade routes without paying its mana cost.
So you can now cycle lands for free, and also you can pick up your lands and cycle them?
Yes. All one of my lands.
Fair.
All right. I think with all that said and done, though, let's just move this Nettlecyst to this construct, which is freaking enormous.
Okay. You have a big guy.
These are all tapped, and I have 10 servos now. Make that a little simpler. All right, so a tap Jawbone Skulkin, 10 tap servos, and Saheeli did not copy anything this turn, but that's fine.
So this is now more than 2020, right?
Yeah, significantly more. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's 32, 32.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Wish I had Altar of Dementia. That would be good. All right, with that, I will pass the turn, my dear friend.
All right, end of your turn. Could I actually have the dice back or have a servo counting dice? Thank you.
Here you go.
Let's make 2 more servos. Just going to shortcut that unless you have some interaction.
I do not.
Okay, untap. I know what I'm going to draw. Using Mystic Forge, I will look at the top of my library. I will exile that card. It's a Nature's Lore. Go to 18. Look again. Cast an Ichor Wellspring. Enters the battlefield. Draw a card.
Pretty good.
Cycle a Scattered Groves.
You can't. I guess you could do that with that ability on the stack. Never mind. You're fine. Oh, Ichor Wellspring's the draw a card one, not the.
Yeah.
Not the other one.
Peak. Don't want that on top, but can't exile another card. I guess that's actually pretty relevant. Let's deconstruct your construct.
Float a blue mana.
Okay. So now you have no untapped creatures, correct?
Urza.
You have Urza. It's a 1/4. Yeah, that's annoying. I have 3 floating green mana.
Land Grant is not in the queue, but I think it should be. Right? Land Grant's not in here, right?
It's not.
Get it in. Get it in.
Yeah, I'll throw away a servo. Let's get in for 9.
Sure. I will block a servo.
Bolt! No. Sure, servo will die.
I take 8.
Take 8, go to 10. Oh, shoot. I shouldn't have. I just let that mana burn away. Yikes. Okay, this format's a little hard to play. I could have made a bunch of Saprolings.
Could have.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Damn it, I'm such an idiot. I'm not used to destroy target artifact, gain 3 mana. I can peek at this and I know what it is. I'll pass the turn.
So help me out here. How many additional creatures can you make on board? You can make 2 servos with Retrofit Foundry for free.
Yes.
And you can pay 1 to either make a Saproling or make another servo.
Right.
Or turn one of your servos into a Thopter.
Right.
Okay. So that's 3 additional blockers I have to deal with. In addition to your 2 you have up. I will untap. I will draw for turn. If you're not dead this turn, then I have made a horrible mistake. I will play a Swamp. Flow 2 mana.
I don't see how you're going to kill me. I guess you...
Oh, you're dead in a lot of ways. But
all right, we'll see.
You're dead in so many ways. I'm going to cast Frantic Search.
Okay.
Using the blue mana. I still have the black mana in my mana pool. So I'm going to draw 2, discard 2. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. It's going to sound wild. I will discard Walking Ballista, Chromatic Sphere.
Yeah, that's wild.
Then I will untap 3 lands, which is just these 2 lands. Still have a black in my mana pool. I'll cycle Archfiend of Ifnir.
Okay.
Draw a card. Play a Cranial Archive. I actually might need that for myself to not die to mill, so I don't think I'm going to cycle that right now.
I'm surprised
That
you
will
don't want to
trigger
just play the Archfiend and then cycle a bunch of lands with trade routes. I don't see how I get back from that.
I'll use that black mana for Shadow of the Grave.
Okay, that's cool. That's fine.
I'll get back all 4 of these cards.
Okay. Wow, yeah, you're really doing it.
And then, actually, I do not get back Frantic Search. That was not discarded.
Shadow Spear. Shadow Spear could be interesting.
I'll play Chromatic Sphere. Trigger. Make another servo. I will end up playing the Archfiend of Ifnir this turn for sure, but it's actually not necessary to kill you because I have so much mana that I don't need to do that. Because let's see. I'll sacrifice Chromatic Sphere, produce a black.
Draw a card.
Draw a card. So I have a black in my mana pool. I will cycle Cave of Temptation to trade routes.
Sure.
Draw a card. I actually should have bounced both lands and discard. That was what I was thinking in my head about doing before I played the stupid thing. It doesn't matter. Discard this, draw a card. Hey, guess what? It's going to be even better. All right. So I still have a black in my mana pool. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7. 2 cards in hand.
I can't imagine I'm not dead to just you play Archfiend and cycle your 2 lands. Like, I guess I can make.
Well, so what I'm going to do is
2
also
new
play a
blockers.
giant Walking Ballista and just kill all your other blockers with the Walking Ballista's abilities.
Okay, do it.
I'm going to do it. All right, so
It's taking you
use
so
the 2
long.
black in my mana pool plus 1.
You want to exile my graveyard first,
The
just to make sure I don't buy
1
back
will
my
be
deconstruct.
blue from Cranial Archive. And I'll play the Archfiend.
Yeah.
Blue black in my mana pool. Bounties both the trade routes.
So you had black in your mana pool? I thought you just had blue-black in your pool before. Or just a black.
Maybe. We'll say I spent that swamp.
Okay.
The suggestion earlier for mana counting was not a bad suggestion. So blue in
Yeah.
my mana pool now. Discard both of these. Double cycle Archfiend.
Sure. So I don't want to respond to make any creatures. I will put a counter on my Hangerback Walker, so I'll make 2 Thopters.
Which will both die.
Will they? No.
The
So-
first cycling
right,
trigger will
because
kill
it's actually,
that.
No, the point is just the counters cancel each other out, so it doesn't. They don't get.
Right.
They don't happen at all.
Yeah, they don't even
Yeah.
happen.
Okay. You're right. All right, and this guy has 2 negative counters.
It's true. Then I'll use that blue mana in my mana pool to cast Supreme Will. Make another thing over here. Trample is really relevant in this environment, I think, which is a good call out for Shadow Spear. Does that give Trample or just Lifelink?
I think just lifelink.
A shame. All right, make another Servo, casting Supreme Will, looking at the top 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Y'all take Yogg Will. I don't have to reveal it.
Yikes.
I'll reveal it just to demoralize you.
Yikes. Consider me demoralized.
I'll play Guardian Idol, make another Servo,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can play a Walking Ballista 4.
Well, you can only attack for 10 here, so
They're
really,
not attacking.
Oh, got it.
They're not attacking at all.
I see what you're saying.
I can play a Walking Ballista. That comes in play tap. Stupid.
Yep.
That's tapped.
Still made you a mana by making you a servo.
Is there any triggered ability I'm going to want to copy? I guess I got to copy the Archfiend's triggered ability. That would have been chill. No, I'm just going to tap that for mana. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 14 is 19. So I guess I'll just do it for 18. So I'll keep the Resonator untapped. You never know what you might want a Resonator for. And I'll play a Ballista on 9.
Okay.
Move to equip Nettlecyst to Urza.
Mm-hmm.
Go to combat.
You're in combat.
Attack with Urza, who is significantly larger than lethal.
Make a dude. Got him. You're making me make my dudes.
Okay. I kill the first servo.
Okay. I make another servo.
I kill the second servo.
Excellent. You got it.
Hey, that's a turbo cube.
Wow, your deck is busted.
Shadow Spear does give trample. So
Oh, nice.
a good look for this cube, I think, because it is free to cast, free to equip, and gives trample and lifelink.
All right. Well, despite winning all the dice rolls, Andy's deck is busted. I'm doing too much fair stuff over here.
I told you how I did it. Take all the free cards.
Yeah.
Always take free cards.
All right. I'm happy with some of these. I'm going to go down a land.
I also felt like I had too many lands.
Yeah.
Even like kept a no land hand. Because I hit. Well, I guess the lands are okay with trade routes. Trade routes is good. I did mess up my plays there too, because I totally could have drawn like 4 more cards that turn. Which, yeah, it's also really important that I have Cranial Archive in this deck, because I think otherwise I do genuinely run a very real risk of decking myself just in the order of playing the game.
Sure. All right. If Andy's not looking, I'm going to cut a basic plains and add this card in here. I think actually I don't have anything that cares about basic lands, so don't need it. And I'm not going to shuffle my tokens. I'm going to shuffle my deck.
Didn't even use Yogg Will. I think I actually could have used the Yogg Will just to cast enough non-creature spells to make the Walking Ballista straight up lethal without even having to attack.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
It's a little bit risky. What if you had Condemn?
Yeah. Great point.
That would have been bad for me. Plus, you saw that my Force of Will was exiled. I like Shadowspear for this cube a lot. That'll be great.
Who wants lifelink? And trample?
Trample is what you really want. I don't care about lifelink. But Trample's huge in this environment, I think.
All right, I will take the play.
And you do have cranial plating in this environment, right?
I don't think I do, actually.
Might I suggest? Cranial plating. All right, you're on the play. You get to do your hand first.
Oof, wow. You hate to see it. Unfortunately, yeah, this is, I'm really feeling like I'm not showing off this environment, because we're gonna have to mulligan this. I mean, technically I can play and use this, but...
Here's my hand. Let me switch to my camera. I think this is a mulligan for me too. Which Anthony can look at because I'm going to mulligan it. But
cool.
Too many lands. 3 of them.
Too many lands.
Don't want that many lands.
That's not a land.
I also don't have a black mana source for the Read the Bones. With the black mana source, this is an easy keep. I have 1 free look with Alchemist Vial, which is below average for free looks. Again, I have 15 ways to draw a card for free in my deck. So this hand's just not that great. And it's going back. I've considered Shadowspear in my primary non-turbo cube before as well. Let's go back to Anthony's opener.
All
Second
right.
opener. Down to 6.
This is looking a lot better. So we got some stuff we can do.
I don't like that it's looking a lot better for
We
Anthony.
got plenty of stuff we can do. I think I'm actually going to get rid of... I don't know which of those is actually better. Or maybe I should just get rid of this.
It's hard not to look.
Or this. That actually makes sense. Let's get rid of a cycling card for a card I can actually cast. Seems like a relevant
so glad
exchange.
you have this card in paper, is cube in paper now. I love to play it.
Love to touch all the cards. Take lots of game actions
All right,
in
my
paper.
second 7 here. This is also not fabulous, but I do intend to keep it. I can ditch this for one of those. Not an explosive first turn, but I think a second turn will be quite good. So, off we pop. I'm going to bottom. Let's see. I should very intentionally say what I'm going to bottom here. I'm actually just going to bottom this. That's not doing anything for me in this game.
All right. You ready to go?
Back to the head-to-head camera. All right. You're up, Anthony.
Start with a Savannah. Play a Monastery Mentor.
Oh, yikes.
Play a Shadow Blood Egg.
Oh, chat.
Get Square Monk.
Turn 2 is not going to be fast enough, I don't think. I will likely be dead.
I'm just going to go ahead and crack the Shadow Blood Egg right now for another look. And that's kind of where the Shadow Blood Egg or the eggs can kind of like
you need the red-black mana right now.
Yeah.
Well, you need to draw the card right now, so you're just forced to make the red-black mana, which you might not have anything to do with. But.
Right. Let's play an Expedition map. Trigger. I like this star one. Good job with the Star Monk.
Thank you. Looks like the Hardy's logo.
A star. I like it less all of a sudden.
Here at Hardy's, we're happy to kill you.
So, questions. I can use the Expedition map just to get a land that cycles if I just don't want a second land.
Yeah, map is great here because you
Which
can
is-
just go get a cycling land like you said, because it doesn't get basics, it gets any land.
Kind of what I want to do.
Have you considered the treasure-making land for this cube?
I haven't. All right, let's go ahead and crack this. The question is, do I want to get the second land so I can play...
It pops for 1 treasure for
one more
free. It's probably not worth it, but it's also an artifact land, which I think is relevant here. There's a lot of artifact matter synergies. I think you should put Academy and Cradle in here.
I did.
You did?
We didn't see him, but... I mean, and Yawgmoth's Will and Underworld Breach.
Underworld Breach?
All right, so we're just going to get the Canyon Slaw. Canyon Slough?
Slew?
Slew.
I think it's Slew, but I don't know. I'm not an English major. I'm an art student. I'm not a student at all. I'm a grown-ass man.
Hey, we're all students. Lifetime students. Cycle the Canyon Slough. Okay.
What can I draw to make me not be dead next turn?
I mean, you can just trust that I won't have a lot of non-creature spells to cast. I will play a Mirror Superior and a Porcelain Legionnaire.
I mean, just to
Go to 18.
Just to say, so you have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 power on board. So you need to cast 3 non-creature spells and I'm dead.
I'll say go.
2 non-creature spells and I'm dead. All 3 of these have prowess. Only 2 cards in hand, though. I think I'm very likely dead next turn, chat, but let's find out. Draw a card. Okay.
And I'm at 18, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Let's do that. Very important. Probably dead next turn, but let's do our bestest that we can. Let's start out by cycling Wander in Death.
Okay.
Draw a card. Let's cycle Migration Path. Draw a card.
Not that worried about Gravestorm yet. Neither of those are permanents.
Where does Gravestorm matter at this point? That doesn't even help me.
Let me be afraid of what I want to be afraid of.
I'm not Gravestorm way out of this one. Let's basic land cycle Ancient Excavation.
Okay, cool. That's what it's there for.
For an island.
Cool island.
Thank you, thank you. They're yours.
Have my monks be extremely square.
Can I afford to even do this, though? Because if I don't I had to make a blocker, but I can't right now, is the thing. So I think I have to do this.
Okay.
I'd kind of like to hold up a counterspell, actually, but instead I'm just going to cast the Cantrip Mode of Supreme Will.
Wow. Okay.
1,
It's a little bit terrifying.
3, 4. Lots of very good options here. That actually is not a terrible look. But I think I have to take... That's better with that other card in my hand is the thing. Which means, am I going to cast this turn? And then next turn... Alright, I think I have to take a chance. I'm going to get Golden Egg with my Supreme Will. I'll cast the Golden Egg. Draw a card. Am I going to cast this card this turn? Am I really going to do that? I can't make a blocker, so I just have to do that and hope it's good and I hope you don't kill me.
Okay.
If you had more non-creature spells in hand, you would have cast them last turn. Probably. I guess maybe not necessarily. If you're really thinking far ahead, you maybe wouldn't because you're like, they're worth a certain amount of power to you on that turn and a certain amount of power to you on this turn.
Right.
Oh, Jesus, feels bad. All right, sack the Golden Egg for a red mana, cast an Endotha Crystal.
Okay. What are you thinking about casting? Read the Bones?
I'll cast that in a minute. I guess Reason 2 Life is not a...
Yep.
Reason 2 Life actually doesn't change the clock at all.
What do you think?
Let's waste them with haste. I think with that, I just have to say go.
All right. Untap.
Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me.
I don't know what your plan is over there. Okay, so I actually have 2 options now. And the new option might just kill you.
I don't like that.
So I'm going to try that. Let's play a Taiga. Cast a Mystic Forge trigger.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So one more
Peek.
non-creature spell, and I'm donezo.
Exile. This does get exiled face up, right?
Unless it says otherwise, I assume so.
It was a land.
You're
I'm
at
going
17?
to 17. Peak. Go to combat.
Oh, hell All right, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I go to 4.
Excellent. I'll say go.
Did you need one more non-creature spell? Not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 damage.
Sure, trust you.
Am I wrong about this?
6, 7, 8, 9. It's 14, right? 14.
No, because you trigger prowess once.
Trigger
so
prowess
it's
once. Oh, it is
5.
prowess as well. Sorry, yeah, you're right. You're
15.
right. 15.
So you needed 3 non-creature spells, not 2. I did that math wrong. And I go to 5.
And I'll say go.
All right. Chat, we have a chance. Untap. Draw a card. I did not want to see that, I gotta say.
So you're at, what's your total?
5.
5. Okay.
Play a swamp. I am going to use some cards to track my mana this game, which is going to be kind of confusing because I don't want them to get fused for lands in play. I'll put them like half out of play over here. I'm going to add a blue, black, black to my mana pool. So let's do that. Use the blue.
Frantic Search.
And maybe I should have played another. Actually, hold on. Can I
Sure.
before I do anything?
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna play a second island instead of that swamp.
Okay.
So I have blue, blue, black, leaving me with one of each. And I will indeed cast a Frantic Search.
You got it.
Draw 2. 1, 2. Discard 2. Swamp, Bitter Ordeal. Untap 2 lands. Frantic Search is gone.
Cards in hand?
4.
4 cards. Okay. What am I most worried about here?
Cycle Sheltered Thicket. Draw. Play Spare Supplies.
Sure.
There's a battlefield tapped. If I draw a card. Use my black mana. Shadow the Grave.
Sure. Seems good.
Just get back Sheltered Thicket and Bitter Ordeal and Swamp. Cycle Sheltered Thicket.
Saw that coming.
Draw. Oh,
Wow.
I scoop. I fucked up. I need to use that black mana for something else.
Oh, no.
Because I didn't play the swamp. I forgot that I took the swamp back. Yeah.
You hate to see it. I would say take it back, but you also looked at a lot of cards in your library.
No. There's no taking back. Yeah, I had Yogg-Will, which was going to let me do Frantic Search again.
Right.
Which is why I originally played the black, because I wanted to
Makes
make blue
sense.
and black every time I Frantic Searched, which would be a
Right.
lot of times. And then I was going to be able to play the Golden Egg out of my graveyard and maybe find cards in my deck to do things. But I think you got this one.
All right. Let's see. I was going to untap. I was going to draw this card, which I don't care about. Peek at this card.
It's a complicated cube, in my defense. All right, that was a pretty good opening hand from you.
Yeah.
I get my first game on the play, though, which I'm pretty excited about.
That's going to be hard for me.
I think I had to find Archfiend of Ifnir there on all of that storming off, but it was very likely. I was going to see a lot of cards if I had done that correctly.
It's interesting how, like, the sheep spells are important. Like, you're casting a lot of 1 and 0 mana spells, but Archfiend being, like, a thing that you can just put in your deck for free because it has cycling, and then you do generate a lot of mana sometimes and can just cast it, and it's a very relevant card.
Yeah, for sure. Oh no, Oko, you're not enjoying this this gameplay? It is a very different kind of magic, for
It is
sure.
not the kind of magic I want to play most of the time.
I kind of do. I
Okay,
love this kind of
do it.
magic. I wish I had punted last game. That would be such an embarrassment to me now.
And I have so few eggs. I just cast a bunch of free big creatures. I'm just Tarmogoyf's dot deck.
You are like that is what the fair archetype looks like in this cube, I think. What you're doing. All right, I will look at my opening hand first, as I am going first. And it is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is an easy keep for me, chat. On account of this. These bottom 4 cards are what make this an easy keep. And those top cards are fine. I'm not going to kick them out of bed. All right.
All right, let's see what we got over here. We got
Soldier.
spells.
Anthony can.
Oh, man. Another punishing one. Well, we can't keep that. If we had a forest. If only we had a forest.
Anthony on the mulligan. Are there any questions about the Turbo Cube while we're waiting for Anthony to mulligan? Thank you for tuning in to the Lucky Paper Twitch channel. People love this. Lots of positive comments on the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
They say more ASMR.
Well, yeah, I brought down this very heavy and very nice dice because it makes good roll sounds.
Yeah, does someone, Parker or Jed or Drew, do you mind linking the list in the chat while we're playing? I don't want to take time away from being on camera. A couple questions from the chat here, Anthony. When can we expect a full write-up about the Turbo Cube?
Don't look.
Chop chop.
There's a lot of info on the whatchamacallit?
The description.
The description.
On Cube Cobra.
On Cube Cobra. What more would anyone like?
Just put it in article form, stick it on luckypaper.com.
Yeah,
We got another question in the chat, Anthony. What is your stance on foiling?
I feel like a lot of people feel strongly one way or the other, so we're keeping this hand. This hand's going to be great.
Tell chat what you're going to bottom from that hand before you cover it up.
Sorry, I'm just putting it in my graveyard because I'm trying to think about 3 things at once. I'm going to bottom this card. It is redundant and fine.
Turn count for the game so far. The
Maybe that was a
first game
mistake.
I
That's
won
actually
on
maybe a
my
mistake.
turn 3 on the draw, and the second game Anthony won on his turn 3 on the play. So 3 turn games so far.
Yeah.
We got the list.
All right, take it away.
Grid draft does work with the Degenerate Microcube, though we devised a novel kind of grid draft for it. So instead of doing 3x3 grids, where there is no number of packs that will let you see the entire cube, we instead do 10 4x4 grids, which is the entire cube, and I think is the exact right balance of intentional picks and incidental picks. The decks are significantly stronger than regular draft, but that's kind of on theme for the environment. So maybe I will twist Anthony's arm to do that one of these days on the stream, or maybe Anthony just wants to take a pass on that, and I'll get someone else over here to do a
That's a good idea.
grid draft of the Degenerate Microcube on stream.
All right, take it away. Don't do too many things in turn 1, if you don't mind.
I can't promise anything. Strionic Resonator.
Okay, strong start.
Elsewhere Flask. Copy the triggered ability to draw 2 cards.
Okay.
Draw. Cycle Migration Path. Draw.
I think I kind of messed up with that mulligan.
Kaleidostone.
Hard mulligan, though.
Draw. Cycle Wander in Death. Draw.
Oh, it's still looking at me.
Oh, oops. Thanks for mentioning that. Back to the head-to-head view. This is what I've done so far. I've played all these cards and drawn lots of cards. Kaleidostone, Elsewhere Flash, Cranial Archive, Resonator, the Elsewhere Flash trigger to draw extra cards for fun. For fun and profit. What is my line here? I think what I want to do is play a Jawbone Skulkin for free.
You have Skulkin.
Play a Buried Ruin. Tap it for mana. Shocking, I know. For a Nettle Cyst.
Oh, cool.
Make a
Huge
big boy.
germ.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 6/6. And I think with that, I'm going to pass the turn.
All right. Untap
It wasn't too much. That was fine.
Draw. All right, that's not a great draw. Let's play a florist. Cast a Nature's Lore.
Sure.
Search my library for a forest. Let's get a Savannah.
That's like cycling, but it puts it into play.
Yeah. Tap the Savannah. Cast a Recruiter of the Guard.
Pretty
trigger.
good.
Get myself Monastery Mentor.
That's pretty good.
And I believe that is my turn. I'll say go.
All right. I'll untap. I will draw.
I hope I get another turn.
Is this an island or a swamp?
That's clearly a swamp.
Okay. Thank you.
Like I said, confusing basic lands, but you're only going to have one of them, so...
You can ask. Oh, Life Totals Old Game. Thank you, everybody, for keeping me honest here. All right. Fix that. We are both at 20. I hate when I mess that up. It's so unprofessional. All right. What is my sequence here? I've got 2 mana. So Elsewhere Flask overwrites the types. I can no longer activate Buried Ruins ability if I've activated Elsewhere Flask.
Elsewhere Flask, the classic Magic card, multi-format staple, very well known. ETB, draw a card, sacrifice it, choose a basic land
It
type.
doesn't say in
Each
addition to
land
their
you
other
control
types.
becomes that type. Yeah, I believe it just turns all your lands into that. I think.
I don't
If anyone,
love
if anyone in
that.
the chat would like to rule differently on Elsewhere Flask.
That
It's kind of a cool card.
That does affect my decisions here. It's relevant right now. I can use it to fix my mana. Yeah, all your lands will have the chosen land type and no other land type. And presumably no other abilities, too. Would infinite mana actually not mean too much in this cube? I don't think it means too much. That said, like,
yeah,
Grim
what-
Monolith and Basalt Monolith are just like, especially Grim, which is 0 to cast. It's
Yeah.
like infinite mana at no cost to you. Like, there's no deck building cost. No, it's just good to have a free artifact in your deck, even if it doesn't do anything. Basically, like I'm playing some cards that do very little, like Jawbone Skulkin, which I'm very happy to just have as a free artifact. Having a free artifact that incidentally makes infinite mana is really something.
But the colorless mana is like really hard to use, so it really just would be like a 2-card combo with Hangerback, Ballista,
Walking
which
Ballista.
that's not super exciting to me. We've got enough going on here.
I don't really want to give up the ability.
Ooh, Magus of the Moon is pretty interesting. Or just Blood Moon.
Sorry, I'm in the tank a little bit. But I messed up last game. I don't want to mess up again. So if I do that, tap both of these, use one of those, untap, tap those again, and then I can do that, and then I can do something else maybe. All right, let's do this. Sacrifice Elsewhere Flask to make all of my lands islands till end of turn.
Okay.
Blue.
It's only your lands, right?
Yes.
Okay. For a second I was worried you're just gonna be like, yeah, draw step. I'm gonna turn all your lands into islands.
That would be sick.
That would be rude.
I'm gonna cast Frantic Search.
Okay.
Floating a blue.
Yep.
Draw 2, discard 2. 1, 2. Discard 2. I'm going to pitch Snapcaster Mage. I don't want to pitch either of these cards. This is a problem. Let me think for a sec.
Yeah, take your time. My turn's gonna be fast.
And then I'm going to crack that. I guess I got to pitch Spare Supplies. It feels bad. All right, Spare Supplies is gone. Untap both my lands for Frantic Search.
Yep. So you have a
Tap
blue
them both again. 3 blue my mana pool. Use it to activate Kaleidostone.
Yeah.
Make Wooburg.
Here, take these matching.
It's fine.
Okay,
I don't need it.
You say that now.
Use the black for Read the Bones. So, Wurg in my mana pool. I'll bottom both of these on the scry. I will draw 2, and I will lose 2 life. Go to 18. All right. I've got Wurg in my mana pool.
Wurg.
Oh, Wurg. Let's see. I have discarded plenty of cards to make Hollow One free, so I'll cast Hollow One.
Yes.
I going to want to cast this next turn? What an interesting question.
Oh my god, I'm so glad to hear you say next turn.
Yeah, you're not dead. I mean, I can't kill you this turn. I don't have enough ways to give things haste. I think I have to do that with my remaining 4 mana. Yeah. All right. I got 4 mana left. I will use it to cast a Ballista on 3.
That's a big problem.
It's pretty important. Go to combat.
Yeah.
Smack with this extremely large Nettle Cyst.
How big is it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's only a 6/6 actually, because I did sacrifice some artifacts this turn.
I'm actually just going to jump.
Great. Pass the turn.
Untap. Draw a card.
Thank you, Drew, for being a rules lawyer. I appreciate you.
All right. I know you have a Hangerback Walker. I see it.
It's a walking ballista.
That's what I mean. That's the one that I care about. But I'm going to just do my thing. Chatterfang?
I have to actually read this card. One or more tokens would be... Oh, yeah, that's actually kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a Chatterfang.
So are you just going to use your Ballista to kill the Monastery Mentor you know I have?
Why on earth wouldn't I do that?
I don't know.
Can you give me any reason that would make any sense for me to not do that? Ooh, interesting question. Anthony, did you consider the medallions for this cube?
Uh,
I guess they wouldn't be very good.
They don't do much, right?
Because you have... because the cards that cost 2 colorless and a colored pip are so much relatively stronger than the cards that cost like 3 colorless and a colored pip, because going from 2 to 0 is a huge difference. Much bigger than going from 3 to 1 mana. Because of that, there's actually very few cards that have colorless costs that are not reduced by the already granted rule cost reduction. So I don't think the medallions would be very good here, personally.
All right, I'm going to play an Ichor Wellspring. Trigger.
Look at you trying to get all spicy on me.
I'm going to play a Temple Garden.
Hold on a sec.
Whoops. Nature's Lore.
2 explorers?
Go to 18. Two explores.
2 explorers?
Okay, I was really disappointed about this card, but now it's going to be fine.
Hey, thanks, Show Nuff, for the follow. Big streamer hours up in here.
Monastery Mentor.
Resolves.
I will cast a Shadowblood Egg.
Respond to the prowess trigger.
Trigger.
Take 2 counters off in response to the prowess trigger.
Okay, I'll respond to that.
You have an instant, you son of a bitch.
I will cast a Stonecloaker.
It doesn't trigger prowess, but it does return that to your hand. Huh. That's a pretty spicy sequence, Anthony.
Thank you. I was really lucky I drew an untapped White Source.
Yeah, that happens.
All right, Monastery Mentor back in my hand. Resolve the trigger. I will get a Triangle Monk, trigger Chatterfang, or Chatterfang replacement effect. I will also get a Squirrel. Am I reading that right? So whenever I get a token, I just also get a Squirrel?
No. Yeah. Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
So do I want to crack my egg here? I don't actually have, like I said, a lot to do with that mana. So let's go ahead and just crack this egg to draw a card. Interesting. Do I change my plan because of that draw?
I sure wish I had succeeded in killing that Monastery Mentor.
Yeah, I know, right?
That would have made this game much better for me. Bummer.
I'll pass the turn.
I still quite a bit ahead on board right now, but you know. All right. Draw. I can't think of a better use. All right. Play Chromatic Star.
You got it.
Chromatic Sphere.
Yeah.
Should say the correct thing. Is there any chance I'm going to want to cast this? I don't think there is. Basic land cycle, Ancient Excavation.
Okay. You have no cards in hand?
No cards in hand. It's part of the reason why Ancient Excavation would not be that good.
Yeah.
I'll get an island. I'll play it for turn. If this was a different egg, I could double the draw ability,
Hmm.
but it's not, so I can't. Chatterfang's a 3/3 with Forest Walk. You have no black mana right now.
That is correct.
You did last turn, but it didn't matter at all.
Oh, that's true. I probably should have used that to kill the ballista.
Could I have done that, Jay? I mean, he just doesn't respond to the first take a counter off.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's true. I could have done it if I had done it one at a time.
How so?
Well, because you don't respond to the first one coming off.
Uh-huh.
And then when you flash in Soulclocker response to the second one, I still have a counter on my...
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I should have done it one at a time. I should have been diligent. I think it's going to be okay. I'm going to sacrifice this sphere for a blue mana. Draw a card. That sucks. So I've got... Yikes. All right. I'm going to tap and sack this Buried Ruin.
Yep.
To buy back spare supplies.
Yeah.
Play the spare supplies, and this ability I will copy.
Okay.
To draw 2. Interdasting.
He said remove 2 counters, so he removed 2 counters.
Yeah, I know. It was bad of me to do that. I mean, I should have specified specifically Drew, I think. I mean, I'm not sure
I wasn't
what a judge would say, but...
thinking about that either. But you're allowed to put multiple activations in the stack at once.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so now I have a blue in my mana pool, and I got some thinking to do. I think I have to do this now. All right. Use the other blue in my mana pool, plus this blue from this here. Well, actually, hold on a sec. If I do that, 1, 2, 3, doesn't actually really help me all that much. 4, I can do 2, 5. How many cards do you have in hand, Anthony?
Just 3. You know, one of them is Monastery Mentor.
Yeah. Okay. I still have a blue in my mana pool, so before that blue empties out of my mana pool, I will use another one to put a counter on Walking Ballista. I will go to combat.
Yeah.
And attack with the Nettle Cyst and the Hollow One.
How big is the Nettle Cyst?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still 6/6.
I don't think I want to take 10, though. So I'll jump with the Squirrel. Squirrel's not attacking anyway. Take 4, get a 14.
Put you to 14. And then I will pass the turn.
Untap. Draw a card. So the question is, I bet you have a counterspell.
Why do you bet that?
Because you have a untapped blue mana.
I guess I do have Supreme Will in my deck.
Yeah.
It seems pretty clear. My onboard answer is the Walking Ballista, though.
Yeah, that's not what I'm worried about. All right, let's try it. Cleansing Nova. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments. That's a face.
Yeah, I'll force it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, lose 1. Go to 19. Made me counter it.
Did you not take 2 from something before?
I don't know what.
I don't know either.
I had me at 20. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Because now I can't do a ton. Except make a bunch of blockers. You have 1 card left?
Yeah.
So making a bunch of blockers is maybe
How can
fine.
you make a bunch of blockers? I don't like that.
I'll play a Retrofit Offender. And I'll just go ahead and play this Porcelain Legionnaire.
That's a lot of blockers. That's true.
12. And trigger prowess. I don't think that matters. Let's get in for 3.
Yeah. I'll take 3, go 16.
And say go.
All right.
Oh, man, if that had resolved.
I'll untap. That would have been pretty much GG's.
Yeah. I would have even drawn a card.
I will draw. Let's get rid of the spare supplies.
Sure.
To draw a card. Let's play this Alchemist Vial. Draw a card. That's exactly why I was holding that card, because I thought I might draw that. Oh, do you mind if I copy this in the battlefield trigger?
Sure.
Nothing else has happened yet. I have gained no other information. I just
Fine.
meant to copy my first egg trigger. Draw a card there. You have 1 card in hand.
1 card.
And it is Mentor. I will play Cave of Temptation.
Seems good. Can even activate it.
I can even activate it, put it on ballista. It's not the worst thing. All right, what am I going to do with my manners? Let's also play this Guardian Idol.
Okay.
Really bums me out that there's a battlefield tap, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So right now, you can make 1 blocker because you can't untap. You have no mana.
But I'll make a squirrel.
You'll make a squirrel as well. Dang, Chatterfang's a problem.
Chatterfang's pretty cool. I was kind of not sure
Chatterfang's
about
a
it.
problem.
I really wish I'd been able to sequence, the turn 2 Mentor Foundry.
Yeah, interaction was very key for me in this game.
Yeah.
It's a lot of jump blockers. Which means I think I got to go bigger, huh? All right. Islands, trade routes.
Okay.
Bounce this island. Discard it to draw. Discard a swamp to draw. Okay, Bitter Ordeal felt pretty bad, I gotta say.
Okay.
It was cool-ish in the first game.
Cool-ish.
But it did actually, I mean, like we could actually do the math on how likely I was to have robbed you of one of your actual draws, because you only drew like 3 cards after I did
that's
that.
fair. That's fair.
Maybe that card's not good enough.
I'm glad we played it once.
Should probably cut it for Obnoxious's Cruelty, which I would love to have in this exact spot instead of Bitter Ordeal.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Thank you, Action Bro Conf. Am I saying that right? But yeah, I mean, again, this is not the kind of Magic I want to play all the time, but just...
You don't have to keep saying you don't like this.
I don't like this. But it's like really cool to be able to just like totally change how all these cards work. And also take lots of game actions.
So many chump blockers, Anthony. It's a real problem for me. Trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I would love to have a Shadow Spear in this deck. That would be sick.
I'm glad you don't.
Sorry, I'm tanking over here.
What are those 2 cards?
I don't have to tell. Oh, one of them's Bitter Ordeal. I kind of told you that one.
Oh.
I'm deciding how much to go all in on just trade routing myself.
Yeah.
I'll float a black.
Hell yeah.
Bounce the swamp, discard it.
Hell yeah.
Ugh, that feels real bad. Ugh, yikes. All right. Am I just gonna waste?
I don't like this. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could also do like a lot of different smaller twists, and also like the combination of what kinds of rules changes you make plus what cards you choose. Like you could easily just take out all the like weird cantrips and just be like, hey, yeah, now we just are playing with a pile of Tarmogoyfs and let's see what that feels like. It would be faster, probably.
Is there even any point to attack? And it just takes you off of 2 dinky 1/1s.
True.
which is something. All right, I'll attack.
Sure, 2 big guys.
4 and much bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 7, 8, 8.
Yeah, I think taking the 4 is debatable, but I think I will make a squirrel and a servo and block both.
All right. They dead.
Shboop.
Then I just gotta pass on
I could have double blocked if I want to throw away my Porcelain Legionnaire, but hopefully it'll come in handy later. All right, untap, draw. Okay, what do you do for me now? Nothing because of reasons. All right, let's talk about Retrofitter Foundry.
Let's.
I can tap it, make a servo.
Yes.
I can pay one to untap it, and then make another servo. That seems fine.
Gravestorm does check the lands discarded to routes, but I don't think it's good for me right now. Like, even resolving a big Gravestorm, I don't really see what it does for me. I guess I did have a black mana I just wasted, so
All right, I'll
better than nothing,
go
I guess.
to combat
But
and hit you for you have nothing with reach, correct?
nothing with reach.
Hit
I
you
take
for
3, go to 13.
Stonecloaker's also kind of suspect, like in my deck and in this whole cube altogether. I'll pass the turn, but
We'll pass the turn.
Yep,
You're all in on that sort of idea now, huh?
we'll find out. But yeah, I mean, flying is a really good keyword in just about every environment. And
Okay, if you're passing the turn, I'm gonna cantrip Supreme Will.
okay, oof,
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh God, this feels bad. All right, I'll get Golden Egg.
golden egg's good.
I know what I need to hit. I think to get me out.
Your
of
deck's looking pretty thin over there.
Yeah, that's fine. I got
Can I
Creative
just?
Archive.
Can I just? Oh, you got that. So what does that do? You choose a player and you reshuffle their.
Target player shuffles his or her graveyard into his or her library. Draw a card.
Maybe because you have that card, I should not be playing Altar of Dementia.
Untap.
If I had more playables.
Draw. That is a good draw.
Does Resonator? I believe Resonator can copy any triggered ability, right?
Any
Which
triggered
Storm
ability.
is.
Storm is a triggered ability. So, Resonator for Chatterfang, or for Chatter Squirrel thing. What's the...
Chatterstorm?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Thank you. What do I do?
What do you do? Attack, pass.
Play a Golden Egg.
Okay.
Draw a card.
Okay.
Okay, that makes my line much more simple, which is good. I like simple lines. Black. Oh, I need a third mana. Shit. Guess I gotta do this first.
Oh, but by copying the storm trigger, it doesn't just give you one more; it actually doubles the number of storms. So
Oh,
if
yeah.
you were going to get like
Quite
4,
a
you then
few
get
more.
9.
Quite a few more.
Is that right? No. If you're going to get 4, it would copy the 3 extra triggers. Give you 7.
I guess I'll just cycle in Dotha Crystal.
Cool.
Draw. Never punished. Prophetic Prism.
Yeah.
Draw.
Prophetic Prism strong.
Swamp. Even better. All right. Black. Now we'll do a Archfiend.
Oof. I don't think I can beat that.
I've been saving my Strionic Resonator for reasons.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. And bounce both of these.
Yep. You want to bounce those one at a time?
No.
Okay.
I will discard the Swamp.
Okay.
Trigger Archfiend of Ifnir. With
Yeah.
that trigger on the stack, would you like to do anything?
I would not like to do anything.
Okay. Go.
Do you want to hand me some negative counters?
Yes. There you go. Yeah, Archfiend is very real when your deck has so few win conditions, which is where I'm at. Go to... I guess I can get rid of Chatterfang. And can I just kill you? You're at 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's just lethal if I do that, assuming you have nothing. Well, no, because you'll make that in response. Okay, yeah, I have to do it before blockers anyway. All right, this is all fine. Move to combat.
You're in combat.
Swinging in with all these.
Okay.
Oh, and also, let's just, before blockers, sacrifice this vial and make it so Chatterfang can't block this turn.
Sure, that seems reasonable. So the problem is, I make a bunch of things. You still just get to cycle. You don't have any more lands.
I do. I have one more. You saw me bounce.
Okay. So I think you're right that I'm just dead. Because if I make a dude, I go to declare blockers, you kill all my creatures. Then I can make another dude. But this is weird sequencing things. So we're going to make a dude, make a squirrel.
Yep.
And then I'm at 12, so imagine I still just like block the two biggest, and you can potentially ping me. I'm still fine. So go to blockers.
Well, hold on. I guess, yeah, you can always use your mana to keep making more tokens in response to me killing all your stuff.
Yeah.
Because you have last priority as the defending player all the time. Oh, I should have attacked with Guardian Idol, too. Forgot that was a thing.
I have a lot of exciting.
I also forgot I had
actions.
mana from Guardian Idol, so I didn't have to cycle that card the other.
Jawbone Skulkin is honestly one of my favorite cards that like just is totally different in this environment, and I think that especially in a draft, it could actually be part of like a really critical part of a aggressive red deck. Chatterfang is, I mean, it kind of does the same thing as it would in a normal draft, but it just is quite powerful.
So,
and I mean, trade routes is cool and busted.
Okay, sure. Go to blocks.
Okay, I will block the
Hollow one and the Nettle Cyst.
And the Nettle Cyst.
Yeah, there's no way I could just kill you here, I don't think. Yeah, that's fine.
All
so
right.
those both die.
I'll
You take 3. Or do I want to pump that thing in response? I think actually what I'll do is I'll put one more counter on the Walking Ballista.
Okay, I'll take 4.
By sacrificing the
8.
egg and tapping this. Draw a card when I... Oh, sorry. I'll draw a card when I enter the battlefield. Sacrifice it for a mana.
Yep.
So this... I'll just make these plus and plus 1 counters. Yeah, you take 4, go to 8. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 4, go to 9. What are our life totals according to you?
I was at 12.
Yeah, I think I mixed them up, actually.
Okay.
Oh, I hate when I do that. Man, it's hard to manage this stuff. We need a producer to sit here and manage all these things. All right. So I'm at 13. You're at 8. And do you have any way to deal direct damage to things? Is it worth... It's probably worth moving this Nettle Cyst to my Archfiend of Ifnir to make it huge.
Sure.
Losing my servo token. And... pass the turn.
All right, so end of your turn, I will untap, tap, make dudes.
You're going to do a servo for each? Or are you going to sack servos and make Thopters or something?
That is the question. I think I would like to try and make a 4/4. Because you still have a land in hand, right?
Yeah.
So the plan has to be make a 4/4. So let's pay 1 to untap it.
Mm-hmm.
Tap, make a dude.
So you're making a Thopter.
Make a Thopter.
You make a Thopter. That's... So if I respond...
And
Hold
I
on.
still get another squirrel.
Still get another squirrel. Let me think. If I respond to you making a Thopter before the Thopter enters the battlefield...
This is real complicated. So Thopter squirrel.
Yeah, I can't stop you from getting a construct. That's fine. So you make a Thopter and a squirrel, and then you're going to untap again.
Sacrifice this.
Make a construct.
Make a construct. Oh, these are golems, not constructs. Oops.
Unbelievable.
We allow it. I apologize.
All right. That all happens, and
I'll make a
then
squirrel.
you may begin your turn.
Thank you. How generous of you. Untap. Draw a card. I can definitely no longer attack you. That's kind of cool. Man. Monastery Mentor just really doesn't do anything with the Archfiend in play. And I can no longer attack with my flyer. So we're just going to play a Voltaic Key.
That's pretty cool.
Give me one more trigger. You're at 13?
13.
But I'm potentially getting like 2 damage through and throwing away a 4/4.
I've got a 13-12 Archfiend of Ifnir.
Yeah, so I'm just dead to that, right? Not quite, because I can still make flyers. Man. All right, I'll pass.
Yeah, I got to keep this for the...
Yeah, Crawling Barrens, like I think any colorless land you kind of just need to think of as a spell. Does it cost 4 to activate, I think?
Draw.
Which, so yeah, dumping 2 mana into it would be way too expensive.
All right, I think you got to be dead.
I can make a lot of tokens.
Gonna make a whole lot of tokens
I guess really only
to
like
get through the Archfiend
right.
doubled with Stranic Resonator and the Walking Ballista being able to ping any remaining flying
Right.
blockers. But let's see if you can do it. I'll be very curious to see if you can do it.
I don't have the problem is even if I can survive, I don't actually have a way to close out the game. I don't think other than cleansing Nova.
I'm gonna keep this Guardian Idol up as mana. So I'm coming in with these.
Okay. So the way I have to do it is make a servo. And that will put me up to 4 squirrels if that resolves.
Yeah.
Untap this. Turn my servo into, it's a lot to manage over here, a Thopter.
Got a Thopter.
And get another squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
Go 2 blocks.
You have 3 mana still available.
I have 3 mana still available. This does nothing.
And you will need to... So you can only do this not many more times. All right, let's clean this board up a little bit. I will discard Cave of Temptation to trade routes. Draw a card.
All right, so
Trigger Archfiend of Ifnir. And I will copy that trigger to put 2 -1/-1 counters on creatures you control.
I will untap, tap, sacrifice my Thopter in response to all those triggers going in the stack
Sure.
to make a second big construct.
Sure.
And then let that resolve.
Okay, so 2 -1/-1 counters here, and these are both dead,
So
and
my
all your squirrels are
yes. Which is really unfortunate. These are dead.
Yep.
And then I will untap, make a
dead.
servo,
Make a Thopter,
and then turn this boop boop,
and then you're out of resources, right?
and then I'm out of resources. There's a Thopter.
I'll shoot the Thopter.
You shoot the Thopter. That's good game. Wow, that was a weird game of Magic.
All right, let's do a little debrief.
Oof.
You want to lay your deck out? Do a closing deck tech too. Talk about how cards performed. Give the people some content.
Get all these squirrels and Thopters and
All right. Let's see, lands, free spells. I like kind of the way you organize it a little better.
I think putting the free
Cards
spells
actually
that
do
are like
stuff.
literally
Free
just
card
this is just
draw.
like deck size reduction.
Cards that actually do stuff. Cards that actually do stuff. Cards that actually do stuff. Free spell that does not draw a card. Free spell that does draw a card. Free spell that does draw a card. Free spell that does not draw a card but is basically a land. Let's actually put that under. Well, where does the Guardian Idol go?
Free,
But
free
it's not a
spell?
free spell that draws a card. It's kind of a free spell that doesn't draw a card, but it's also kind of a land. But it's a land that doesn't take a land
Wow.
drop.
But it doesn't. The colorless mana really doesn't matter that much.
That's not true. I use it almost every turn of the game.
Oh, really?
In this deck, I kept pumping it into whatchamadude. Free spell, it draws a card. Free spell, it draws a card. Free spell, it draws a card. Lands, free spell.
Oh, I had
draws a
Hilliard's
card.
Intervention as well. That would have been relevant.
All right, let's get these all lined up. Get these all lined up. Oops, I missed one of my. You said this is a swamp.
It's got a black border. You can see
I can't tell the difference.
compared to the island.
Okay, sure. In that context, I guess it makes sense. All right, you give your little deck tech while I'm finishing stacking things up. Break it down, Anthony. What do you think of your deck?
I enjoyed this deck. I think it sort of played out like I expected, but your deck played a lot better than I expected. So, but that being said, like I think this deck felt reasonable. I really enjoyed the token stuff. Chatterfang was very cool. Monastery Mentor was obviously very critical to the deck, but you had enough interaction that was actually harder to make work than I expected. Definitely what felt lacking was like ways to generate card advantage. Which, you know, not to say it's a problem with the cube, but like as a player, I'm definitely going to pay more attention to that. Like the Mystic Forge was kind of a last minute include, but ended up just being relevant. The double land thing never really mattered. I think if I was going deeper on trying to actually be like a ramp deck, that would make sense, but in this case, it didn't really pay off. I was I sideboarded, I brought in the Cleansing Nova, just to be like an outlet, and also you had tons of artifacts and enchantments, and if it hadn't been countered, that would have been in a great place. So
Yeah, that card I think looked very good to me. I was scared of it.
I wonder if I should have tried to sequence things to like that was actually probably more important than the Mentor, and you probably would have countered the Mentor.
I probably would have, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure I played that quite right. And then a lot of the like free creatures kind of didn't matter all that much. Like it put more stuff on the board, but yeah, next time if I could instead, you know, if I have the opportunity to draft more cards that, you know, generate more value or like win conditions in their own, I would be looking for that. I never drew Altar of Dementia, which is unfortunate. I'm curious to see how the card's going to play.
I think it'd be great.
What else to say? Ronas seemed fairly good again. Like a lot of his cards I didn't see play, but like as I'm looking at my hand or thinking about what's in my deck and thinking about like what's going to be relevant on different board states, Ronas felt like it would have impacted a lot of boards, just being like a thing that can pump something to be very large.
It can't make things big, and
Yeah.
you have a lot of like little small creatures where you can attack. I can't block everything just mathematically. You can pump whatever I don't block and deal a lot of damage. I mean, that last game especially, we had like a real kind of race situation.
Yeah.
I mean, the Archfiend blew it wide open, but it was a real like attack back and forth sort of combat game of Magic until
Right.
then.
Yeah, I was really hoping I could just like do the like ideal curve and you wouldn't force me to do other stuff. But like, yeah, if I had been able to turn 1 Nature's Lore and Chatterfang, and then turn 2 Mentor Retrofitter Foundry and make like a whole bunch of squirrel tokens, that would have been great. Maybe next time we'll get there.
All right. Switching over to my deck. This did exactly what I wanted it to do. So again, I prioritized free spells wherever possible and was trying to do broken stuff. The way I have organized my piles here, this is lands, of which I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, not counting Sheltered Thicket because I never planned to play that as a land. I also had Chromatic Sphere, Endothic Crystal, Golden Egg, Prophetic Prism, Guardian Idol, which are not lands, but they are 0 or 1 mana spells that produce mana. They're essentially mana sources in my deck. So those kind of go into the same sort of category, as I think. These cards are all just designed to be cycled. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards that are in there explicitly to be cycled. So really playing a 30-card deck here, basically, with these cards having additional synergy when I do cycle them. And then Skulkin, I think, ended up underperforming in this deck. You know, I value free spells a lot, but it was really just a free 1/1. I don't have any red creatures. I'm never going to give anything haste. Had I thought a little bit harder about that, I think that should have been a cut. Resonator impressed me. I have enough triggered abilities to draw a card that it was basically just draw an extra card every turn. It was in play, which was pretty strong. I liked that quite a bit. and then this little like tech at the end to double my trigger from my Archfiend of Ifnir was pretty cool. These are all of my sort of support spells, which is mostly a little bit of interaction, a little bit of card advantage. Trade Routes overperformed again. Great card. Didn't actually cast Yawgmoth's Will, but it would have been great in almost any situation, so I think that card definitely earns its keep. And then my actual win conditions. I like Nettle Cyst. I would have liked it a lot more if I had had some Trample, but in all the games I had it, I basically had to also destroy your whole board in order to kill you with it. It's still fine to have a 1-mana, 16/16 or whatever that you have to blow a whole board through to get to get through.
As a card design, I really like the equipment just being large and having to find creatures to combo with it to add keywords. Like I think if it was both big and evasive, that would be just kind of crushing. But the fact that you have to actually find combinations is a lot more appealing to me.
Yeah. And then Ballista was obviously key, as you saw in the game. Saheeli, a great win condition. Urza, a great win condition. This was how I was winning the game with these 5 cards, basically. And if you had bid or ordealed me and taken these 5 cards out of my deck,
bid or ordeal would have been much more effective against you than against me.
At that point, I would be on Snapcaster Mage Beatdown would be my plan.
That's not a great plan.
Guardian Idol Beatdown, not good. Having now played, so I kind of played Bid or Ordeal a little bit as a test, and I don't actually think I'm very high on it. Maybe it's a sideboard card against a deck like mine, where if you're doing really unfair stuff, you Bid or Ordeal people. But realistically, this should have been Ob Nixilis' Cruelty, which deals with Monastery Mentor, which is a big threat, and Chatterfang, which turned out to be a big threat of yours. So I should have played that. I also wish I had found room for the Inkmoth Nexus. Given how those boards played out, it would have been really good with Nettle Cyst, essentially killing you. And I think I could have afforded another land because I do have Trade Routes in the deck, so if I get flooded a little bit, then I could have, just taken that out. I probably would have taken out the Skulkin for Inkmoth Nexus.
That makes sense.
And I also think I should have found room for the Kitesail Freebooter. Partially for the disruption, but honestly more so for the flying body to carry a Nettle Cyst. I think just a 1-mana flyer with a little bit of disruption was probably good enough to play here. I think cards like Windfall didn't look as good as I expected because I was very often empty-handed.
Yeah.
So I was not really super excited about Windfall, even though I do have things like Shadow of the Grave and Yawgmoth's Will, which are in theory great with Windfall. But I was just empty-handed after turn 1 or 2. So I think, Windfall for Kitesail Freebooter, Skulkin for Nexus, and Cruelty for Bid or Ordeal probably would have made the deck even better. But I feel that the free spell tribal strategy is alive and well in the Turbo Cube, and I like playing it a lot.
I'm glad.
All right. Well, this has been the first paper draft of the Turbo Cube, and we're doing it with a full 8 tomorrow.
I couldn't be more excited.
It's going to be a thrill. How many people are drafting tomorrow that have never drafted this cube before? At least
great
2.
Question. At least 2, maybe more.
Maybe 3 or 4. I'm excited to clap them a little bit. This is definitely an environment that rewards familiarity with the environment, and I'm excited to draft this deck again, basically.
I hope we can properly set expectations that, weird stuff is going to happen. You might not be winning, but just let's enjoy what is happening.
I do think board wipes are better in this environment than maybe I give them credit for, especially the Cleansing Nova style ones where you could destroy artifacts. I assume most of your command's not in here because it costs way too much mana.
That's my thought, but I can almost see it even.
Have you considered just artifact rafts?
There are a fair amount. There's, by Force, we saw Fiery Confluence, Hammer Mage. I don't know if there's what's the actual just destroy all artifacts. Meltdown. There's a couple
of them. There's a red one and a green one. I think one of them is from Planar Chaos.
I don't believe any of the green ones are in, but plenty of red.
I wonder. Do you think there's room to draft a no artifacts deck with artifact hate like that? I mean, you still probably take the Broken Eggs because you're going to sacrifice them for mana anyway, so you don't really care about them getting destroyed by your own artifact rafts.
Right.
But I feel like that deck could be cool. Is Kataki War's Wage in here?
No. What is that?
That's the hate bear that makes you pay 1 mana for each artifact when your upkeeper sacrifice it.
I could see that. That's a white card?
Yeah.
I like that better in white, actually.
Get Kataki in here.
Because there are
Kataki also tutorable with all the recruiters, so
right.
I'm kind of into that.
I've also got a I don't know if we ever talked about this Ancient Grudge, but
Ancient Grudge.
Actually laughed out loud when I first saw this card. I was so
great.
excited.
It's angry little pug.
He's angry at his own reflection, and it's the ancient struggle of this poor pug. But then it's actually destroying the artifact. It's mirror, everything works. It's such a good.
It's really good.
I love it.
I love all the creative work that goes into this game.
My hope is that there is kind of, again, I don't think it's going to come together in a grid draft, but in a regular draft, like a white tax deck where you have, Thalia and Glow Rider and things like that. Kotaki.
Kataki.
Probably
Kataki also
fits
has sick
right
art.
in
I've
there.
been wanting to play that card for a long time.
This is a cube where a lot
Very
of cards
sick art.
that have no other place
Have
can
a home.
go.
The Turbo Cube, home for 2 generic mana spells that no one's ever heard of, like Elsewhere Flask and Kaleidostone. Kaleidostone did work, I think.
Kaleidostone, I kind of thought that was just like, yeah, it's another like artifact cantrip, but then
Multiple times.
3 mana?
Made 2 mana with it.
yeah.
Pretty good.
All right, I'm curious to see if Skettletide does anything here. I think it's going to go in the bitter ordeal category of cards that maybe do something.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
All right, I'm going to wrap up the YouTube video there. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe, etc., etc. Smash that bell for the notifications, fam.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll stop the recording, and then we'll keep hanging out on the stream for a bit.